Good evening. We are bringing you commentary of Arsenal against Chelsea today from the Premier League. I'm your alternative host, Russ Vernon, and I am joined by your match commentator, Paul James, and you are listening to the Commentary Hub. We're going to get the team news for tonight's game in just a second, but there's been some news coming out of Leeds United, which we'll mention just to kick off if we get time. If not, the news from Leeds will be mentioned at half time. We've around about 9 minutes or so away from kick-off. Let's get the team news and how many changes each side has met, or should I say has made, as we hand over to match commentator to tell us those changes is Paul James.
Thank you, Ross. Good afternoon, Ross. Good afternoon, everybody. Good evening, good morning, wherever you are in the world. Let's take a look at some of these changes for you. Some surprising ones for Arsenal. Holding and Partey and Martinelli are all out. Kyria is in, and the logic behind that from Mikel Arteta is he wants to strengthen the defence. Jorginho is in for Partey, and Leandro Trossard is surprisingly in for Gabriel Martinelli. Gabriel Martinelli is relegated to the substitutes bench, but he is the leading goal scorer for Arsenal. For Chelsea, there is two changes. Conor Gallagher is out and he's replaced by Aubameyang. He's in. And Madueke comes in for Chalobah. So there's two changes to the Chelsea lineup from their defeat against Brentford at the weekend. Three changes for Arsenal from their 4-1 defeat to Manchester City. Russ, back to you.
Thank you very much there, Paul. We'll get Paul's thoughts on the game in just a second, but we have received this voice note in to us from Mike Ornament, and this is what he had to say about Arsenal's changes and the lineup.
Interesting. When I saw this lineup, I was very, very surprised, and a little bit shocked with that Arsenal lineup, to be honest. With Partey on the bench, Martinelli on the bench, Holding on the bench as well, and Kyria getting a start. So it's a interesting lineup. I've not been impressed by Kyria at all when he's played. I think he's definitely got a mistake in him. So he's got to have a big game tonight, that's for sure.
So there's the thoughts of Mike Ornament ahead of kick-off. Our very own Mike Ornament here, a very key part of our channel here on the Commentary Hub. We've got some more games coming up to it first. So tomorrow night, join myself and Nicholas Jones as we bring you commentary on Manchester City against West Ham. Tonight is a focus on the other side in the title race. Arsenal, they take on Chelsea, who have lost 5 games so far under Frank Lampard since his return to Chelsea as interim manager. Paul, you just heard there from Mike Ornament with his thoughts on the Arsenal lineup. We'll touch upon that first, and obviously Mike's not happy because he says Kyria has looked shaky when he's played. A few minutes surprised with the likes of Martinelli and Partey being dropped down to the subs bench. We were speaking off air and you said you were surprised with Martinelli yourself. What have you made to Mike's thoughts ahead of kick-off and some of the changes Mikel Arteta has made to this Arsenal lineup tonight?
Well, I think he's got to be seen to be doing something after that defeat to Manchester City. The performance was very poor. Defensively, in the last 3 games, Arsenal have been very, very bad. For the most part of the season, Arsenal have defended superbly, with less than a goals against average. Now, in the last 3 games, Arsenal have conceded a total of 9 goals in the last 3 games. That has not been Arsenal-like. That's 3 goals a game. So I think he's correct. He has to make some sort of a change to try to correct the issue to stop the bleeding. And he's certainly going to want to return to victory today. He's only 1 win in the last 5, and that came against Leeds United. Sorry to mention that, 4-1. But that was the last time that Arsenal won. For Chelsea, it's even worse.
Yes, and I mentioned there, Chelsea have lost the last 5 games in all competitions, and those 5 games have come under Frank Lampard in his second spell as Chelsea manager. What do you make to Lampard's second tenure as Chelsea manager? From when Graham Potter was sacked, if any, because the only reason I think they fetched him in was try and get the fans off their owners back, and I'm not sure if that's been done or not. So why do you think Lampard has come in, and what have you made to his tenure since he's come back in at Stamford Bridge?
Well, it's I don't know what Chelsea fans were expecting. I don't know what Chelsea was expecting. They've already fired the man and hired Thomas Tuchel, and then fired Thomas Tuchel and hired Graham Potter, and then rehired the man they fired, the man that was fired to bring in Thomas Tuchel. I mean, try to make that make sense. It doesn't. Chelsea's performances have been dreadful, and I don't think it's literally down to the manager. I think if you look at a side that they've spent over £250 million on summer transfer, winter transfer. In fact, it's probably closer to £500 million on summer and winter transfers, and they haven't even reached 40 points, Ross.
Yeah, they're only 9 points above the drop zone, so if the teams below them and the teams who are 9 points behind them win their next 3 matches, Chelsea could be dragged into a relegation battle if this run of form continues. And could Chelsea do something what Leeds could be said to be doing in changing the manager for a second time? Will be longer for Leeds for the 3rd time this season for Chelsea. Do you reckon something like that could happen, Paul, before we get over to the kick-off?
I would hope not. It's not helping. Just keep replacing the managers like this. It's causing confusion for the players. Everybody has to change because a new manager brings in his own way of doing things, and the players then have to adjust, and the system then gets changed. And I think a lot more care needs taken by teams before choosing to replace the manager. It's not always the ultimate solution.
Yes, and just quick final one from me, Paul, before we hand over to you for the kick-off in this game. Aubameyang makes his first start for Chelsea since November against a team where he spent 4 years at. Do you think that's a bold move by Frank Lampard fetching in Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang tonight?
1 goal in 14 games in the league. Yeah, I definitely think that. But I think Kai Havertz isn't 100% fit either, Russ.
Absolutely, Paul, absolutely. So, without further ado, the teams are in the tunnel, probably on the way about to come out any second now. So it's time for me to turn my microphone off for now, and hand over to your match commentator who's going to guide you through the first half action. Is Paul James.
Thank you, Ross. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, everybody, wherever you are listening in the world. Our first job of the day, of course, is to go through the 2 starting lineups, starting with Arsenal, who are managed by Mikel Arteta. They have Aaron Ramsdale in goal, Ben White, Gabriel, Jakub Kiwior, and Alexander Zinchenko at the back, Martin Odegaard, Granit Xhaka, and Jorginho in the midfield. He's replacing Thomas Partey, of course. The front three, the familiar front three now, well, not so familiar. Bukayo Saka, he's got 13 goals and 11 assists this season. Gabriel Jesus, 9 goals and 5 assists. Leandro Trossard is a surprise replacement for Gabriel Martinelli. He has 1 goal and 8 assists in 15 appearances. For Chelsea, managed now by Frank Lampard, if you're keeping up, they have Kepa Arrizabalaga in goal, Thiago Silva, Cesar Azpilicueta, the captain, Ben Chilwell, Wesley Fofana. In midfield, N'Golo Kante, Mateo Kovacic and Enzo Fernandez, with Raheem Sterling, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang and Noni Madueke as the other forward. The substitutes for Arsenal today are Matt Turner, the substitute goalkeeper, Kieran Tierney, Rob Holding, Thomas Partey, Emile Smith-Rowe, Fabio Vieira, Eddie Nketiah, Gabriel Martinelli on the bench with 15 goals and 5 assists as a possible quick-fire substitute, and Reece Nelson. For Chelsea, they have Edouard Mendy, the substitute goalkeeper, Trevor Chalobah, Benoit Badiashile, Ruben Loftus-Cheek, Hakim Ziyech, Kai Havertz is still not fit. He's their leading goal scorer with 7 goals. Conor Gallagher, Mykhailo Mudryk, and João Felix. Lots of firepower on the bench for Chelsea. And our referee today is Robert Jones. He's aged 36 from Merseyside. He's a Premier League and UEFA official and has refereed a total of 29 games this season in all competitions, 114 yellow cards, no red cards, and 12 penalties awarded. So don't be surprised if we don't see a penalty kick or so today. Just about ready to get underway. Both the teams are now at the centre circle. Aubameyang is just standing over the ball. The two teams have played each other 206 times in all competitions. Arsenal have won 82, Chelsea 66, and we have 58 draws. And we are underway. And it's back now with Chilwell, goes all the way back to the goalkeeper. And Arrizabalaga drills it downfield over the halfway line, looking for Aubameyang. Sterling picks up the ball. Sterling holds the ball, and he just is looking for options alongside him, which is Mateo Kovacic. Kovacic tries to play it back to Sterling, but it's cleared away by Kiwior, but not far enough. Come back, Enzo Fernandez with a strike, but it's blocked, and now Arsenal can break. Over the halfway line is Bukayo Saka. He could be the threat for Arsenal today. Bukayo Saka gets into the penalty area, not closed down quickly enough. Bukayo Saka gets a shot, but it's blocked. It bounces to Martinelli, but it's cleared away eventually by Silva, but not far enough. Here's Gabriel as Arsenal turned the screws early on. Zinchenko. And it's played across down this near side to Ben White. White, he's just looking for options, and he drops it back to Jorginho. Jorginho to Zinchenko. Over on the far side to Trossard. Trossard is dispossessed, and now N'Golo Kante can come forward for Chelsea. Tries to slip it through for Aubameyang, but it's a poor ball, and it's cleared out of play by Gabriel. It's going to be a throw-in for Chelsea, and it's about 5 yards inside the Arsenal half of the field. There is Kiwior in today for Rob Holding. A lot of weight on his shoulders today. Throw-in taken quickly, and it's back with Thiago Silva. He just drops it back to the goalkeeper. And Arrizabalaga, who's resumed the number one position, really. He's been pretty solid, as one would expect. It's cleared forward, and here's Kante. Kante is under pressure there by Zinchenko, but Kante comes away with it, and he's dispossessed one more time. And the ball is played forward down this near side to Saka. Saka just trying to cut inside. Is it overlapping here? Is White. White gets the cross in. It's Xhaka is in there, comes to the edge of the box, and it's just got the touch really there by Fernandez. And Chelsea can now clear. And here's Sterling. He's holding the ball up. Drops it back into Fernandez. Fernandez just drops it back to Fofana. Thiago Silva just does a little turn away from Odegaard. And here's Chilwell. Plays the ball forward. Now, breaking away now is Sterling. He's just over the halfway line. He's just pulling up and stopping there. And it's Kovacic who drops it back to Chilwell. Thiago Silva. Thiago Silva just plays it to Kovacic. Kovacic, and it's just dropped back there. Arsenal pressing Chelsea back rather well, and they're dispossessed. And it was Madueke that is dispossessed by Zinchenko, but the ball does go out of play. And so you are listening to alternative commentary on the Commentary Hub YouTube channel. Today's Player of the Match sponsor on the Hub is sponsored by Commentary Services. Commentary Services would like to thank our broadcasting partners for this season, JB Sports and Storm FM. Don't forget you can follow us on Twitter at Commentary Live 1, and you can like our Facebook page at facebook.com/Commentary Hub. My name's Paul James. We've got Russ in the studio today, bringing you coverage of Arsenal versus Chelsea, Ashburton Grove. And it's just picked up by Trossard from the throwing, and it's given to Gabriel. Gabriel, back to Leandro Trossard, midway inside the Arsenal half. He plays it across the field there to Jorginho. Jorginho, the Italian international, going over the halfway line. Plays the ball down to Saka here, just down this near side. Saka drops it back to White. White. And it's just a centre circle there, and Kiwior just plays it across to Gabriel. Arsenal slowly, patiently building up. Here's Jorginho, plays the long ball. He's looking for Jesus. Jesus just drops the header down, but it's a chance here, and it was headed back by Azpilicueta. It caused all kinds of chaos, and Jesus nearly nipped in there. And finally, Chelsea are going to get it away now with Chilwell, but they gave the ball away. It was a very poor clearance inside their own penalty area, and the ball is played forward now to Kante. Kante is dispossessed. And it's now with Gabriel. Gabriel slips the ball over to Trossard. Trossard And the ball is out of play, and Enzo Fernandez now down. And we're just going to see exactly what happened there. It was just off the picture there. But it looks like Gabriel, yes, he just went over the ball. I mean, it wasn't dangerous. He caught him at the bottom of his foot. But that did look a very painful challenge on Enzo Fernandez. And we're just looking at this chance again. It was a header back to the goalkeeper by Azpilicueta. One would expect better from him. And it was Granit Xhaka actually nearly nipped in. Actually forced a good save from Arrizabalaga. But so close there was Arsenal to taking a 1-goal lead. These two teams first met each other on November the 9th in 1907. 65,000 was at Stamford Bridge to watch Chelsea beat Woolwich Arsenal 2-1. Sort of the news events of the time. March the 15th, Finland is the first European country to give women the right to vote, and on July 29th, Sir Robert Baden-Powell formed Boy Scouts movements in England. And it's picked up here now by Madueka, and it's cleared back to Arrizabalaga and downfield. And chasing this one now is Sterling. Sterling midway inside the Arsenal half. Sterling played the ball forward. He was looking for Aubameyang, but it was a poor ball and went straight through to the goalkeeper. And so N'Golo Kante there. This is a big game for him. For Chelsea in general, they still have 40 points, and N'Golo Kante has only made this is only 6th appearance of the season. And here's Ben White. White plays the ball forward, looking for Saka. It's comfortably picked up by Thiago Silva. And he gave the ball to Fofana, and Fofana has given the ball away now. And here's Odegaard, picked up by Ben White. To Jorginho in the centre circle, just inside the Chelsea half of the field. Zinchenko playing the ball forward. Oh, that's a very poor ball by Zinchenko, and Wesley Fofana tried to come away with it, but he's dispossessed by Gabriel. And here's Ben White. Ben White, Arsenal just building up slowly here. Jorginho out onto the far side there to Xhaka. Xhaka plays the ball forward to Zinchenko. Can he get the cross in? He pulls it back to Granit Xhaka. Back to Zinchenko. Looking at the options here, Zinchenko. He decides to go all the way back there to Gabriel. Gabriel plays it across to Ben White now. Arsenal slowly building up, just keeping possession here, trying to find a way through this Chelsea defence. And here's Zinchenko again, about 30 yards out. Drops it to Trossard. Trossard tried to play it through to Jesus. Jesus just wasn't able to control it very well, and Kante can bring the ball away. Fofana, is he fouled there? He's given the ball away again, and Arsenal can break forward one more time. Here's Kyrie, drops it to Gabriel. Gabriel to Zinchenko. Zinchenko. Oh, that's a wonderful long ball over on the far side to Bukayo Saka. Saka drops it back now to Ben White. And it's back again to Saka. Can he get the cross in? Oh, that's great defending. That's wonderful defending there. I'm just trying to see who that was. He's injured himself. He's gone right into the advertising hoardings, and he looks in a lot of pain. And I just can't be clear on exactly who that is right now. I'll be able to tell you in just a moment. Here it was fantastic defending, just cut right across. Saka here. We'll see it again. And yes, it's Thiago Silva actually. He just cut right across Saka without making contact with a player and shielded the ball to go out of play. It was excellent defending. It's going to be a goal kick once the game is back underway here. But we have 9 minutes gone. It is Arsenal 0, Chelsea 0, Ashburton Grove. Big London derby. And well, there is Frank Lampard, who has been put in place at least until the end of the season to try to steady the Chelsea ship that has been in free fall, it has to be said, for most of the season, in my opinion, since firing of Thomas Tuchel anyway. And Arrizabalaga will get us back underway now with this goal kick. Right-footed, downfield, over the halfway line. It's just headed forward by Kyrie to Saka. Saka unable to keep the ball into play. And Chelsea will have a throw-in, which will be taken by Chilwell. And Kovacic just tried to pick up the ball there, but he's dispossessed by Odegaard. And Odegaard plays the ball forward to Jesus. And here's a chance now for Xhaka. Oh, his first touch was a poor one, and N'Golo Kante just nips in and brings the ball away now for Chelsea. He plays the ball long over the halfway line, looking for Aubameyang. Well, marshalled well by Kyria. Kyria gets the ball back by Ben White. And Gabriel now. Midway inside the Arsenal half. It's played by Zinchenko. Forward to Jorginho. Jorginho takes a knock. And he's giving it to Ben White. Just limping a little bit there. He's played the ball forward and looking for Bukayo Saka. Bukayo Saka being marshalled by Ben Chilwell, and Ben Chilwell heads the ball out of play. It's going to be a throw-in for Arsenal. It's taken very quickly by Ben White, and it's back with Odegaard now, and Jorginho. Zinchenko over on the far side, and it's Leandro Trossard just looking to try to get away from Azpilicueta. It's over by the corner flag. It's Trossard, tries to get the cross in, but it's blocked by Azpilicueta, and it's going to be a throw-in for Arsenal. And it's dropped back to Gabriel. He gives the ball back to Zinchenko, and it comes to Granit Xhaka. Granit Xhaka tries to get the cross in, and it's blocked by Fofana there, and it's going to be a corner to Arsenal, the first corner of the game. 11 minutes gone. Arsenal 0, Chelsea 0. You're listening to live off-tube commentary. My name's Paul James. I'm your commentator today, and this corner is going to be swung in. And I think it's going to be Trossard who's gone over to take it on the far side. Zinchenko is in there, Xhaka is in there, Jesus is in there. Odegaard has gone over to perhaps take this one short. Indeed he has. It's given by Trossard to Odegaard and back to Trossard again. Trossard swings the ball into the back post, and it's just over Gabriel Jesus' head and goes behind for a goal kick. And interesting move by Arsenal, but Trossard just couldn't land the cross. Couldn't land the cross very well there. And it just goes over the head of both Jesus and Gabriel, actually, and it's going to be a goal kick for the Blues. And here it's taken short, and Thiago Silva just plays the ball long. Oh, it's comfortably won back by Zinchenko. Poor clearance there by Thiago Silva, and here's Zinchenko, plays the ball over to Trossard, midway inside the Chelsea half of the field. Here's Trossard now, just trying to get away from Azpilicueta, but Azpilicueta wins the ball back. But Rob Jones says that's illegal. So it's going to be a free kick to Arsenal. Midway inside the Chelsea half, it's taken quickly. Jorginho just drops it back to Gabriel. Gabriel drops it back to Zinchenko. Zinchenko back to Gabriel. Plays the ball forward there, and it's just being pressed back a little bit now. It's Gabriel, but Arsenal move forward again, and over this one is Jesus, and it's given to Jorginho. Jorginho plays the ball down this side to Ben White. White back to Gabriel. Gabriel just looking to see what options he can find. He's found Jesus again. He's right over on the far side instead of his usual centre forward position. Gabriel again. And Arsenal just looking to find a way to break through here. It's a long ball looking for Odegaard, but comfortably dealt with by Thiago Silva, and then cleared up in the air by Kovacic and headed away again by Thiago Silva. Arsenal win the ball back though, but there's a breakdown of that move, and now Chelsea can come forward with Raheem Sterling. Sterling's pass to Kante is very disappointing. Jorginho picks the ball up now for Arsenal. Granit Xhaka over the halfway line. He's looking for options. He's got Trossard, he's got Gabriel, he's got Jesus up there. Here's Jesus. Zinchenko to Trossard. Trossard just trying to cut inside Azpilicueta, who's monitoring Trossard really well. Xhaka gets the ball, and it's intercepted by Thiago Silva, and it's given away again by Chelsea. Turned over again, and here is Jorginho. He gives the ball to Jesus. Jesus back to Jorginho, and Jorginho is going to play the ball down this near side to Ben White, and Ben White gives the ball to Saka. Saka across the middle to Jesus. Can he turn and get a shot away? He can't. It's played in by Jorginho, and it's just hacked out of play there by Kovacic, and it's going to be a throw into Arsenal, taken quickly. And here's Odegaard from the header from Saka, but Odegaard was not able to reach that actually, and it's cleared away by Thiago Silva into the Arsenal half of the field, which Kyria will pick it up and will slip the ball to Zinchenko as he goes with a long ball. Oh, that's actually a really good ball. He finds Granit Xhaka, but cutting across and marshalling him well is Fofana, and he prevents a corner as well. Good work from Fofana. But it's taken quickly, and it's going to be crossed in here. No, it's held back to Zinchenko. And here's Jorginho, edge of the penalty area. And it's now with Trossard. Can he get the cross in? He can. Trossard. There's a header by Bukayo Saka. And it's saved by Aspaqueta. It's saved, but it's dropped by Arrizabalaga. Saved by Arrizabalaga, but it's dropped. And Arsenal couldn't follow up on that. And Thiago Silva can now break out. And it's now with Fofana. And it's back now with Fernandes. Fernandes drops it back to Thiago Silva. Silva, back to Fofana. Back to Fernandes. Thiago Silva. And it's back with Thiago Silva again. Off Fernandes, and now here's Fofana as Chelsea slowing the game right down. 15 minutes gone here, still 0-0. And here's Ben Chilwell. Chilwell just drops it back to Thiago Silva. Right now Chelsea not really making much ground. They'll be pressed back in their own half. Here's Kante. Kante knocks the ball over on the far side. And it's Madueke. And it's back with Kante. Madueke, can he just turn away from Gabriel? He can, but he still decides to go back to Thiago Silva. Chelsea pinned into their own half really by this Arsenal press. It's great work by them. Thiago Silva. And here's Azpilicueta. Forward to Maquette. Kante. They just can't get out their own half right now, can Chelsea? And it's back now with Arrizabalaga. Chilwell just does a quick side, and Raheem Sterling finally turns away from Ben White. Sterling just cuts away, but he's given the ball away to Kiwior, and Kiwior now finds Trossard, who drops it back to Gabriel. Chelsea struggling early on here, and here's Ben White. White plays the ball forward to Odegaard, down this near side to Bukayo Saka, just over the halfway line. It's back with Ben White. Ben White to Zinchenko. Zinchenko over on the far side to Leandro Trossard. And Trossard's ball is a disappointing one, comfortably intercepted by Maqueta. And it's played forward again, looking for Madueke. And it's back with Jorginho. Jorginho inside the centre circle. Slips the ball to Ben White. He plays the ball into the half to Bukayo Saka. Immediately marshalled by Ben Chilwell. And here's White again. He goes all the way back this time to Kiwior. Kiwior to Gabriel. Gabriel to Xhaka. Xhaka to Trossard. Arsenal building up slowly, midway inside the Chelsea half of the field. Here's Jesus. And it's down to Trossard. Trossard plays the ball across to Odegaard! Oh, I say! It's 1-0 Arsenal! Odegaard just blasts it off the underside of the crossbar! Inside the penalty area, and Odegaard, after 17 minutes, has given Arsenal the lead. And what a fantastic strike that was. And if you're not watching the game right now, and you maybe want to tune into the highlights on YouTube or wherever you get your highlights from, take a look at that goal. It's worth the investment of your time. Odegaard, a wonderful strike. And that was right on 17 minutes. We'll just take a look at it again. It's played across by Xhaka to Odegaard. They didn't close him. Well, they didn't have time to close him down, really, because it was struck first time quite brilliantly by Odegaard. Just curled underside of the crossbar and in. I mean, Arrizabalaga may have got a hand to it, and he'll have done well to do that. It really was a wonderful strike. And Arsenal take the 1-goal lead, and it has to be said they deserve it. And well, that was a beautiful strike. Take my hat off to that. And here's Thiago Silva, and back with Fernandes and to Fofana. Fofana goes back to Arrizabalaga. Chelsea now has to try to find a way to get back in this game. Ben Chilwell. It's played forward, but it's such a weak ball and so easily picked up by Jorginho. And it's now with Gabriel. Gabriel gives it back to Jorginho. Jorginho just inside his own half. And it's now with Kiwior. Kiwior. Of course, a win means Arsenal retake top spot, but Manchester City have 2 games in hand, of course. And the games don't get any easier for Arsenal, really. They do have They do have Newcastle United away, Brighton and home, and then they have Nottingham Forest away, which is, despite Forest's position, is not an easy game, and Wolves at home. So Arsenal have some very difficult games left for them in what's left of this season, as we are in the final stretch in this race for the Premier League title. For Chelsea, well, they're just going to be happy to get to 40 points, I think. Here is Xhaka. Xhaka plays it to Odegaard. Odegaard just tried to get inside. Kovacic now moves away with it. Mateo Kovacic knocked on there by Kante to Madueke. Madueke over the halfway line. Good work by Madueke. Let's see if he can create something for Chelsea. He's got Xhaka around him along with Odegaard, but Madueke still gets away. This is a fantastic run by Madueke, but the ball was disappointing. He only found Jorginho, and Arsenal can now come away one more time. Here's Xhaka, and it's back with Zinchenko. Zinchenko plays a risky ball across the 18-yard line. It's back with Gabriel. Gabriel, he goes back to Aaron Ramsdale, who gets a very, very rare touch in this first half. We've had 20 minutes here, 21 minutes, and it's Arsenal 1, Chelsea 0. Ashburton Grove, the goal on 17 minutes by Martin Odegaard is the difference. And Leandro Trossard is chasing this, but Cesar Azpilicueta gets a foot in. And a foul by Jorginho, and it is a free kick for Chelsea. The foul is on Enzo Fernandez. And Chelsea can start again from the back. And, well, what is Frank Lampard going to do in this situation? Chelsea are already lost the last 3 games. They're facing 4 defeats on the bounce. And I don't know where Chelsea go from here, personally. And they have it in their own penalty area now. And it's cleared away by Wesley Fofana. And Arsenal win the ball back, though, with Odegaard. And Fernandez just gets his foot in there. And now Chelsea can break away again with Kante. It's played forward over the halfway line to Sterling. Sterling, his first touch was poor, but Chelsea maintain possession, and it's Mateo Kovacic. Kovacic. And it's now back with Kovacic, and he just drops it back to Thiago Silva. Silva, just inside his own half of the field. And the ball is now with Kovacic inside the centre circle. Just inside the Chelsea half of the field. It's played forward. Chelsea reluctant to break forward here. They're having difficulty just getting into the Arsenal half of the field. Here's Thiago Silva. He gives it to Fofana. Fofana plays forward to Kante. Kante just drops it back to Azpilicueta. And here's Fofana again. Just lifts the ball over, looking for Madueke. Good work by Zinchenko, but only heads it as far as Kante. Kante finds Madueke. Back to Kante. Kante, edge of the penalty area, plays the ball across the 18-yard line to find Raheem Sterling. Sterling lifts the ball up across to Madueke, but good work there by Zinchenko. And he just gets a header and manages to find Jesus. He drops it back to Gabriel. And Arsenal will attempt to get the ball cleared as it's given to Zinchenko again. Here's Xhaka. Xhaka plays the ball forward, but it's a disappointing one. Only finds Wesley Fofana just inside the Arsenal half. Fofana is just holding on to the ball right now, under pressure there by Xhaka, but he finds N'Golo Kante. And here's Kovacic, surrounded by 2 Arsenal players, Odegaard and Saka. Here is Ben Chilwell. Chilwell down this near side to Raheem Sterling. Back to Chilwell, and he just drops it back into the centre circle. Over the halfway line to Fofana. Fofana now gives it to Fernandez. Fernandez just over to Azpilicueta. Back to Fernandez. And Chelsea really having trouble breaking this Arsenal rear guard down. It certainly seems a much more solid Arsenal defensive alignment than what they had in their most recent 3 games. Pressing Chelsea back excellently here. Thiago Silva has it midway inside his own half of the field, and he's struggling to find a way through. He's waving his arms, and he gives the ball here now to Fernandez. Fernandez to N'Golo Kante. Long ball, trying to find Chilwell. Chilwell is in now. Can he make it 1-1? Oh, super save by Aaron Ramsdale, and that's Chelsea's first attempt on goal. It's Ben Chilwell, and it's a wonderful save. And the ball is long, and it finds Chilwell, because Chilwell out-muscled Saka. And he got away then, got into the penalty area, got the shot away. Wonderful save to his left-hand side by Aaron Ramsdale. Well, Aaron Ramsdale, I still believe he should be England's number one, but I'm sure everybody has different opinions on this. But for me, Aaron Ramsdale should be England's number one. But another super save there. First corner of the day for Chelsea, mind you, with 25 minutes gone. And Ben Chilwell will take it. And it looks like he's going to in-swing this one. And, well, there's Fernandes in there, there's Kovacic in there. There is Madueke in there as well as Fofana and Thiago Silva, some of the big boys in there. But it's won by Kiwior, and he heads it out good distance, almost all the way to the halfway line ultimately. And it's now back with Azpilicueta. He plays the ball to Fofana, and now it's down this near side to N'Golo Kante. N'Golo Kante just plays the ball to Azpilicueta. And it's now with Thiago Silva, who's looking for options, for movement. He's not seeing much. And once again, Chelsea press back, and they've almost given the ball away there, but it's just won by Kovacic. And Kovacic under pressure now. He's dispossessed by Saka, and Arsenal win the ball back again. And here goes Bukayo Saka. Just knocks the ball inside to Odegaard, and back to Jorginho. Jorginho surrounded by two Chelsea players, but he finds Saka, who goes all the way back to Kiwior inside his own half of the field. You are listening to alternative commentary on the Commentary Hub YouTube channel. Today's player of the match on the Hub is sponsored by Commentary Services. Commentary Services would like to thank our broadcasting partners for this season, JB Sports and Storm FM. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter at Commentary Live 1, and you can like our Facebook page at facebook.com/Commentary Hub. Here's Ben White. He's got the ball on the halfway line. He slips the ball to Odegaard. Odegaard tries to play the ball through there. He's claiming handball against Kovacic. The referee says no. Here's Raheem Sterling. Sterling, he's given the ball away, and here's Leandro Trossard. Trossard, it's not a handball against Fofana. The referee says no. Arsenal are still claiming. I don't believe that could be given as a penalty. He seems to have his hands by his side. Here's Ben White. VAR, I'm sure, will look at it, but here's Jorginho. Jorginho is fouled, and it's going to be a free kick. And the foul, we're going to have a look at this again. Xhaka is complaining. Odegaard is trying to keep him away. Let's take a look. It's on Fofana. Well, I've seen them given. I can't deny it. I have seen them given, and he did put his hand out. I have seen them given plenty of times. He put his hand out, but I don't know whether VAR is gonna check this. It doesn't look like it. But that's one of them, isn't it? It's one of them debatable ones. It's going to be a free kick with Martin Odegaard. And we'll just see. It looked like he had his hand by his side from the first instance. But when that ball comes in, he does move his hand out. I mean, I've seen them given, but not on this occasion. So it's Martin Odegaard going to take this free kick. And he's just going to swing it into the back post, and Kepa Arrizabalaga comes out and claims that with authority, and he gives it to Ben Chilwell. And he just plays it across to Kovacic as Chelsea, once again, finding it difficult to kind of really break forward. It's Ben Chilwell now, and Chilwell just drops it back to Thiago Silva, and he just leaves it for Kepa Arrizabalaga. There doesn't seem to be much urgency from Chelsea right now. The ball is long there. It's looking for Madueke. It's won by Zinchenko. But here now comes N'Golo Kante, and he's looking for Madueke now. Madueke, he gets inside the penalty area. What can he do with it, Madueke? Can he get the cross in? It's being marshalled by Zinchenko. Good block by him. And then Madueke slips, and Trossard clears up. He clears the ball long, and he's able to find Jesus, and Jesus is fouled by Fofana. Fofana doesn't agree, but it is in fact a free kick. And it's just inside the Arsenal half of the field. It's going to be taken by Granit Xhaka. And Alexander Zinchenko. Zinchenko is just looking at what options he has available. And we have half an hour gone here, and it is Arsenal 1, Chelsea 0. We have seen just the one goal so far, but Ben Chilwell having by far Chelsea's best chance, by far their only chance really, forcing a super save out of Aaron Ramsdale. And here's Saka now. Saka just gives the ball to Odegaard. Odegaard just drops it back to Saka. Arsenal just being pressed back into their own half a little bit. Ben White just gives the ball there to Kiwior. Kiwior across to Gabriel. Gabriel to Zinchenko. Zinchenko plays the ball forward. Oh, here's a chance for Jesus. He's in the penalty area now. Arsenal loading up the box. Jesus turns it back to Xhaka. Can he get a cross away? He can't. And Chelsea managed to clear it away with N'Golo Kante. He drops it back to Azpilicueta. Azpilicueta puts his foot through it. And Gabriel tries to pick up the long ball. And it's won back by Leandro Trossard, who drops it back there to Kiwior. And here's Ben White. White just gives the ball now to Kiwior. Inside his own half, he finds Jorginho. And he drops it back to Gabriel. Gabriel forward here. And here's Xhaka. Xhaka, he's got Trossard alongside him. Back to Trossard. Trossard just trying to break away here. And he gives the ball back to Xhaka. Xhaka gets the crossing. And hits Odegaard again! And it's on the double for Odegaard! And 2-0 for Arsenal on 31 minutes. It's Martin Odegaard again. And Chelsea must be sick of the sight of Martin Odegaard right now. It's 2-0. It's another wonderful strike by Odegaard. Not quite as crisp as the first one, but a good strike nevertheless. And Chelsea are holding a post-mortem on this goal. And Thiago Silva can't believe it. Chelsea can't believe it. Odegaard's in heaven. It's 2 goals for Martin Odegaard today. Well, let's have a look at this again. It's Granit Xhaka who actually gets the cross in. And Xhaka here. Odegaard is not picked up again and just cuts across the penalty area to the centre, to the penalty spot actually is where the cross took place. Nobody was tracking Odegaard. It's very poor defending. There's 3 of them there. And you see he just cuts across right on the penalty spot. And he just cuts it past Arrizabalaga. And Arsenal are 2 goals up with 2 goals from Martin Odegaard. And, well, this is just absolutely superb to watch. That is Odegaard's 13th and 14th goal of the season in the league. And, well, this is extremely impressive stuff. And here come Arsenal again. And Jesus goes down. Rob Jones says, no, we're going to play on. And it goes back to Arrizabalaga. And he gives the ball to Chilwell, who may have run out of real estate. And here is Odegaard again, looking for a hat-trick. He plays the ball to Trossard. Trossard tries to back heel, but Thiago Silva is there, and Chelsea can clear it. It's a long ball, but Kiwior wins that loose ball. Aubameyang not able to catch that. He's not had any service today, and he's not having any luck against his former team. And here is Jorginho. Jorginho just plays it to Odegaard. 2 goals. He'll be on the hunt for a hat-trick, I'm sure. And it's Kiwior over across the far side to Gabriel. Gabriel back to Kiwior. And over there to Trossard. Trossard just plays the ball forward. He gets it back here. And it's Granit Xhaka. Xhaka played into Jesus. Jesus, nice ball down this near side to Saka. Arsenal threaten again. Granit Xhaka plays the ball across, and it's intercepted by Fofana and hooked away by Kovacic, but only as far as Xhaka. And it's down this near side now to Ben White. Ben White curls it in. On the back post there is Jesus. It's pulled back. It's Granit Xhaka. It's blocked. It's Jesus. It's 3. And it's Jesus. And Arsenal are in dreamland. It's Gabriel Jesus. And this is turning into an absolute riot. 33 minutes gone. Gabriel Jesus makes it 3-0. And this is Arsenal at their very best this season. And Chelsea are looking like a side that are in the bottom half of the table, that are really struggling, that despite spending nearly £500 million, it's not enough, Chelsea. And there is Frank Lampard, and they have no answers right now. And let's look at this again. It's down this near side. It's Ben White who gets the cross in. It's a wonderful cross, actually. And the first shot is by Xhaka. It's blocked. But there is the rebound. by Gabriel Jesus. And it's his 10th goal of the season. Thank you, Russ, for that one. 10th goal of the season for Gabriel Jesus, who just gets the shot away here, away from Arrizabalaga, as Chelsea's defence melting once again. And with 35 minutes gone, it is Arsenal 3, Chelsea 0. And what answers do the Blues have for this now, for this riot by Arsenal? And it's down now with Thiago Silva, who must be wondering what's going on. Here's Ben Chilwell. He plays the ball forward, but it's such a disappointing ball. It actually only found Ben White, but his return pass had Saka dispossessed, and Raheem Sterling is back there defending now. His clearance only finds Kyria, and Arsenal once again moving forward, and Kyria just decides to go back to Aaron Ramsdale. And it's Arsenal 3, Chelsea 0. And I need a drink of my Monster Energy drink. There we go. All right. And it's... well, apparently Arsenal fans are singing, "Are you Tottenham in disguise?" And it is Granit... it is Bukayo Saka. Bukayo Saka. And, well, he's played it into Ben White. Ben White's got space. Will he get the shot away? He plays it into Saka. Saka gets across the penalty area. Arrizabalaga might have got a touch on there. Indeed, he has. It's going to be a throw-in for Arsenal on the other side of the penalty area. Level with the Chelsea penalty area. Taken quickly. And it's back now with Kyria. Kyria to Ben White. White over the halfway line. And it's back with Kyria. And it's Gabriel. Well, where has this Arsenal team been in the last sort of 3 or 4 games? Because this really has been a superb performance by Arsenal. And there's Gabriel. And it's down here with Jorginho, just inside the Arsenal half of the field. We've got less than 10 minutes to go before half-time. We're going to see how long Graham Stott, it's our 4th official, how long he is going to add on to the game. By the way, VAR is Andre Mariner and Dan Cook is the assistant. Timothy Wood and Wade Smith are on the lines, in case I didn't provide that to you earlier. Here's Zinchenko. Zinchenko just drops it back here to Kyria. Kyria over on the far side to Gabriel. Gabriel to Zinchenko. Zinchenko and Odegaard just plays the ball forward, and it's won back by Chelsea there though. And here's Madueke, and he gives it to Raheem Sterling. Sterling just moving away from Odegaard there, and he's decided to go all the way back into his own half to Thiago Silva. Azpilicueta plays the ball forward. Madueke knocks it back to Enzo Fernandez. Fernandez plays the ball forward, and it's back here now with Fernandez. Fernandez, long ball, is looking for Aubameyang, but well done by Kyria, just gets across and made a good defensive header, and he plays the ball forward to Odegaard. Odegaard drops it back to Jorginho, and here is Saka. Saka, one touch by Granit Xhaka, and back to the goalkeeper Aaron Ramsdale, as Arsenal just game managing this first half out right now. There's 7 minutes to go in this first half. What does Frank Lampard say to his team at half time? What does he come up with to try to get himself and his beleaguered Chelsea team back into this game? And here's Gabriel. The ball is played forward, and he was looking for Trossard, but it just bounces off Madueke and goes all the way through to Aaron Ramsdale. What I will say for Chelsea, and I think it's only in fairness that I mention it, they do have a long list of injuries, including Koulibaly, James, Cucurella, Mount. Hazard is not fully fit yet either. Now here's Raheem Sterling on the edge of the area. Oh, his ball is a disappointing one given to Ben White. Martin Odegaard now moving forward. Odegaard outside of his foot. It's a beautiful pass to find Gabriel Jesus, who just tries to be muscled out of play by Fofana. But Jesus stays on his feet. Well done. He's tripped that time by Raheem Sterling, and it will be a free kick to... Well, has he given it the other way? I think he's giving it the other way, actually. Perhaps for Fofana's collision with Jesus. and we're just going to see exactly what the what happened here. I just would like to take a look at this myself, actually. Jesus there. Oh, it looks like, oh yes, it's Jesus's arm that catches Fofana. So, sorry, that catches Thiago Silva. So it's actually going to be a free kick to Chelsea. And as we approach half-time, I wonder whether Frank Lampard may consider some changes at the break, but we'll see. Fofana is back on his feet now. And we just see it here, actually. Yeah, just catches him with his arm, does Jesus. Accidental or otherwise, no further action taken by the official. Is Kovacic. Kovacic goes back to Fofana. Fofana across to Cesar Azpilicueta. Azpilicueta just dropped forward to Madueke. And there's a foul and a free kick, a foul on Leandro Trossard, and it's going to be a free kick to Arsenal. About 6 yards inside, well, maybe about 10 yards inside the Chelsea half of the field. Fofana is down again, just not looking too good there. Just trying to, you have to be careful here. Anything in the face, concussion-wise, really needs great care. And he's still down at the moment. There is a game, a couple of games around Europe. A game in Ligue 1 in France tonight, which is Toulouse 0, Lens 1. Almost at half-time on that one as well. And in La Liga, there's been 2 games today. Almeria 2, Elche 1, and Barcelona have beaten Osasuna by 1-0. Real Sociedad and Real Madrid will meet at 9 p.m. UK time. So Fofana is just being helped onto his feet right now, and they're not hurrying this, and this is going to give some injury time, I suspect. But he's on his feet now. The referee may make him go off and come back on. We'll see exactly what's going to happen now. But this has been an absolute dominant performance by Arsenal in the first half. This has not even been a competition, if I'm being quite frank. The one chance for Ben Chilwell, of course, forced a good save from Aaron Ramsdale. But Arsenal have been very dominant in this game. And Fofana is still just rubbing his eye there. He goes off and will come on when the official allows him to. We're going to get the game back underway here in just a moment. And we are back underway. And it's now with Gabriel. Gabriel just dropped down to Kiwior. Back to Gabriel. Gabriel just plays the ball over on the far side to Trossard. Trossard plays the ball. Oh, it's just dispossessed there from Jorginho. And over the halfway line comes Madueke. Madueke played across there to Aubameyang, but Aubameyang was not able to control it, and it goes out of play for a goal kick. As a disappointment for Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang continues. It was a strong ball by Madueke, but really Aubameyang has to do better than that. And it goes behind for a goal kick. Well, it's certainly not been an enjoyable return to Ashburton Grove for Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang in this first half, or for the rest of his Chelsea team, I might add. And the goal kick is going to be taken now by Aaron Ramsdale. Just taking his time. No real hurry, of course. And he drills it downfield, right-footed. Up in the air goes Jesus. Was he pushed there by Thiago Silva? The referee says no. But Ben White wins it in the air, but it breaks now to Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. Lovely back heel by Aubameyang to Kovacic. Kovacic tries to play the ball through to Sterling, but Sterling is not able to retrieve that. And it goes out of play. Goes through to the goalkeeper, Aaron Ramsdale. And we are inside the last minute of this first half. We're just going to wait and see what sort of injury time we are going to see. And our fourth official, Graham Scott, will make that decision momentarily. Aaron Ramsdale has a ball now. And he just clears it down, right-footed, right to Jesus. It was good ball, but then knocked out of play by Martin Odegaard for a throw into Chelsea. And it's going to be taken by Ben Chilwell. Frank Lampard on the edge of his technical area. Chilwell takes the front, just drops it to Kante. And Chilwell gets the ball back, but it's a terrible ball, and it's picked up by Kyria. And, Leandro Trossard is fouled there between Kante and Enzo Fernandez. And Enzo Fernandez is protesting, but the referee has made his decision. We're still waiting to find out how long we have in stoppage time. Nothing yet from Graham Scott. I suspect there'll be at least 3 or 4 minutes. Actually, it's only 2. A very conservative amount in my mind, but it's back now with Aaron Ramsdale and cleared downfield. Jesus goes up for it to try to win the header, and is picked up there by Saka. Saka comes away with the ball now, skipping to the penalty area, and there's a foul on Sterling by Gabriel Jesus. Referee perhaps a little bit late to blow up there. Let's have a look at this. There's not a lot in that, if I'm being fairness. I think Sterling's got away with one there, to be honest. Here's Thiago, and he gives it to Kovacic. Kovacic, midway inside his own half, he just drops it back to Fofana. And back to Kovacic, and he drops it back to Thiago Silva. Just looking for options, he's not able to find any. Eventually finds Kovacic. There's very little movement or even urgency really from Chelsea in this first half. So over across on the far side to Azpilicueta knocked on now to N'Golo Kante. Madueke is overlapping, but Kante goes infield and slips it to Kovacic. Kovacic just gets away from Granit Xhaka. Kovacic swings the ball in and it misses everybody and goes all the way through to Ben Chilwell on the far side. About 30 seconds left in injury time. I suspect the referee might add a little more than 2 minutes, but we'll see. It's over on the far side now to Cesar Azpilicueta, to Kante. Kante slips the ball to Madueke. Madueke drops it back to Kante, and he just drops it back to Kovacic, and here's the chance now for Sterling. He goes over in the penalty area, and the referee says no. We'll take another look at that in a moment. I suspect Sterling is no issues with that. He's not complaining. He may have gone down easily there. We may get another look at that. We may not, but I can tell you there's no complaints from Sterling. And here is Aaron Ramsdale now. He just drops the ball, and the referee, Rob Jones, blows for half-time. And it is 2 goals by Martin Odegaard on 17 and 31 minutes, and a goal by Gabriel Jesus on 33 minutes, as Arsenal have dominated this first half. Only one real chance for Chelsea, which of course was Ben Chilwell, but forced a save from Aaron Ramsdale. But half-time here at Ashburton Grove, it is Arsenal 3, Chelsea 0. Russ, back to you.
Thank you very much there to Paul James for excellent first half commentary on Arsenal against Chelsea. Arsenal well on their way to returning back to winning ways since the start of April, with a comfortable 3-0 lead over Chelsea at half time. We'll go through some of the other scores which have been playing today, and then we'll get back and we'll take a quick break, and then we'll come back and delve into some news. That's all the stories that have happened today. Let's start and look at the scores today, then let's have a look in the Premier League. As we already know, at half time is Arsenal 3, Chelsea 0. In League 1, at half time is Shrewsbury Town 1, Bristol Rovers 0. In the National League playoffs is Barnet 0, Bournemouth 2. National League North playoff, Alfreton Town 0, Kidderminster Harriers 1. In the National League South playoffs, Chelmsford City 0, St Albans 0. Professional Development League, which is the under-21s, Barnsley 1, QPR 1. Peterborough United 5, Charlton Athletic 0. Sheffield United 7, Colchester 1. Premier League under-18s, Manchester United 1, Everton 1 is the latest score. French Ligue 1, Toulouse 0, Lyon 1. German DFB Pokal, Freiburg 0, RB Leipzig 4 after 47 minutes. RB Leipzig were 4-0 up at half time thanks to goals from Almo, Enrich, Sabazlai and Nkunku. In the German DFB Pokal. In the Spanish La Liga, Almeria 2, Elche 1, Barcelona 1, Osasuna 0. Osasuna finished the game with 10 men in that one. So we'll just take a quick break now. When we do return, we'll have some news, what's happened today in the Premier League from Leeds United. Don't go anywhere, you're listening to them of alternative commentaries. This is a commentary up. I'm Russ Vernon. Alongside me doing the commentary is Paul James, and we're going to take a quick break, but when we do return, we're back with some news and then get Paul's thoughts on the first half. Don't go anywhere, you're listening to the commentary up. Welcome back to the Commentary Hub's coverage here on this Tuesday evening as Arsenal are looking very much impressive and in top form against Chelsea. They currently lead by 3 goals to 0. Before we get into the first half and the nuts and crannies on that first half, I'm fetching Mike and Paul in on the first half. Leeds United have been the big story headliners in the Premier League today, confirming earlier on this afternoon that Director of Football Victor Orta has left the club. The club statement read, which came out 9 hours ago, read, Leeds United can confirm Victor Orta has left the club by mutual consent. Victor joined the Whites in the summer of 2017 and now oversees changes at the club that led Leeds being promoted back to the Premier League in 2020. Over the years, Victor and his team have been responsible for recruiting players and staff that have gone on to become legends of the club. Owner Andrea Radrizzani said, I am deeply saddened by the way this chapter closes, as Victor has been responsible for some of the best moments of my time as owner of Leeds United, and I thank him and his people for all they have done in the past 6 years. However, it is clear that it is time to change direction, and therefore we have agreed that Victor will leave the club. I understand supporters are hurt and upset, but now is a time for unity. We have 4 cup finals left to play this season, and working together, I believe we can survive. That has come from the Leeds United owner, Andrea Radrizzani. We'll touch upon that with Mike and with Paul after the game. Well, there's a statement from Leeds United. Well, let's fetch in, first of all, our pundit and come on at half-time, Mike Corneman, who's the Arsenal fan. You heard from him with the thoughts on the team line-up at the start of it with the voice which he sent through to us. Well, Mike, now we've got you live here on the channel. Very good evening to you, mate. How you doing?
Yeah, good evening, Russ. Very well, mate. Very, very good, especially after the first half like that.
Yes, but before we touch on the first half, I just want to say on behalf of everyone here in the commentary room, Michael, to yourself and to everyone connected with Stevenage Football Club, congratulations to everyone connected with Stevenage Football Club on their promotion of the weekend. You must be very proud with that one as well, Mike.
Yeah, thank you very much. Absolutely over the moon for Stevenage after the last sort of 4 or 5 seasons fighting off relegation and then, being everyone's favourites to go down at 60. Go down this season, and we were 66-1 in terms of getting promoted, and Steve Evans has kind of just thrown the cat amongst the pigeons with that basically, and done the unthinkable, and obviously got Borough promoted up to League One again. So no, it's a huge achievement, and the atmosphere in that place was rocking on Saturday, and just a real phenomenal day all round, and an evening after with the players and everything like that. It was just a really special day. Yeah.
Yes, but let's touch on tonight's game then, Mike. And first half performance, where'd your thoughts said of the game about Jakub Kiwior coming in and some of the players being dropped like St Martinelli and Thomas Partey? Well, the replacements for those, Mike, and Kiwior coming in for Holding and the replacements for Martinelli and Thomas Partey, how do you think they've done, and how do you think Arsenal's done as a whole in that first half?
Yeah, really, really well. I think Kiwior's actually having a good game. He's made a few little sort of errors and stuff, but he always seems to be pretty good at following up and winning the second ball once, and picking up on any of the mistakes he's made and kind of getting it out to it at the second attempt, and sorting his feet out and everything like that. So I think he's done well in that first half. Kind of when you see how very sort of little impact Sterling and Aubameyang have had, I should say, on that back line, it just shows that those guys are putting in a really good shift, really. And yeah, I've been very impressed by Arsenal so far tonight. I think Martin Odegaard is running the show, not just because of his 2 goals, but he's been absolutely superb. Granit Xhaka looked superb in that first half as well, and even the likes of Bukayo Saka, Leandro Trossard, Gabriel Jesus as well, all very, very impressive. Jorginho, another one I've been very impressed with in that first half as well. So yeah, really impressed with that first half performance, and it's what we need on the back of obviously the last 4 results not going in our favour, with the games against West Ham, Liverpool, Southampton and Manchester City. We really needed a bit of a statement, and we've certainly had that in the first half.
Paul, do you agree with what Mike said there regarding Arsenal's first half performance?
Yeah, absolutely. Arsenal have been outstanding in the first half, and I think he touched on some very interesting performances. Odegaard, Jesus, Trossard, Jorginho, Xhaka. I think Kyria has done well defensively for Arsenal. I think Arsenal have looked a lot more solid defensively. I think, having said all that, I also think Chelsea were very poor. I think they've looked disjointed, uncomfortable at the back, and not really being able to break. From what I can see here, though, Ross, Kai Havertz is warming up now, and I think that would be a really, really appropriate substitution at this point for Chelsea. Havertz has 7 goals in the league this season. Is Chelsea's leading scorer. He may not be fully fit, but they need to do something because this Arsenal team is threatening to run away with this.
Well, I'll just fetch Mike back in just briefly, just before the players come out for the second half, which will be very shortly. And Mike, just a quick question for you, my friend. With Arsenal going to lead in 3-0 at the break, do you think Arsenal will get more goals in the second half, or do you think it'll stay at 3-0?
No, I'd like to think we'll go on and get a few more goals. Obviously, we can see, anyone can see that Chelsea are really out on their knees at the moment in terms of, where they are in the table. The performances and results they've been getting as well, and the struggles that they've got. So you'd like to think that Arsenal can go on and get a few more goals in the second half. And even looking at that bench, to be fair as well, there's the likes of Gabriel Martinelli that can come on, top goal scorer if Arsenal wanted to bring him on. Thomas Partey as well. Eddie Nketiah could potentially come on as well and sort of help himself to a goal or two in that second half. So. Yeah, I'd like to think that Arsenal can go on and get another 2 or 3 in the second half, yeah.
Well then, without further ado, and with a potential Chelsea change on the horizon, let me hand back over to you, match commentator for the second half. Is over to you, Mr. Paul James.
Thank you, Russ. Nice to hear from you as well, Mike. And Arsenal are about to get the second half underway. There is a change. Chelsea have brought on Kai Havertz, the German international, replaces Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, as Arsenal get the game back underway in their red and white shirts, white shorts and red socks. Chelsea, of course, in their all blue shirts, blue shorts, white socks. Chelsea will be attacking the goal to our right, and here's Raheem Sterling now, getting the second half underway quickly. Raheem Sterling. Well, it's across there. It's Ben White to deal with that. Good work by him, and it's cleared out of play. And in fact, it comes off Ben Chilwell, so it's going to be a throw-in. If you are watching on the TV and you're just following the commentary, Kai Havertz wears number 29. And Arsenal will have throwing now midway inside their own half. Frank Lampard looking less than impressed right now. I wonder if he's thinking whether or not he's made the right decision in coming back. Throw-in to be taken here. It's thrown long into the Chelsea half of the field and headed on there by Saka, but chasing that one down is Jesus, but it goes all the way back to the goalkeeper. But the referee has determined that there has been an infraction there, so it's actually going to be a free kick to Chelsea, and Thiago Silva is going to take this one. Silva plays the ball forward, looking for Havertz. Havertz drops it back to Silva, and here's Fofana. And Fofana just tips away there, finds Azpilicueta. Azpilicueta he's almost running himself into trouble. He finally drops it back to Fofana. Chelsea looks so uncomfortable on the ball at times. Here's N'Golo Kante. And he plays the ball forward. He finds Kai Havertz now, breaking forward. 7 goals for Chelsea this season. Let's see if he can improve on that. And down this near side is Mbeuke. His crossing is a poor one by Madueke. And it goes behind for a goal kick. The crossing there was wayward. And it's going to be a goal kick. And Chelsea... another move there breaks down for them. It really has been, a lot of it's been down to turning the ball over in midfield. Not able to create chances, given the final ball not being there as well. Let's see if Chelsea can improve in the second half. Here's Aaron Ramsdale, downfield. And it's just headed on there, but it's picked up there by Thiago Silva, and he finds Madueke. back to Silva. Here's Azpilicueta. He drops it back to Kepa Arrizabalaga. Arrizabalaga right-footed downfield. And it's just comfortably dealt with by Kyrier again. Headed on by Jorginho. Looking for Saka, but cleared forward there by Chilwell. Finds Havertz. And here's Sterling. Sterling just over on the far side there. He drops it all the way back to Thiago Silva. Inside the Chelsea half of the field. Thiago Silva, long ball. Chasing Azpilicueta. He tries to get up with the header, but he's beaten in the air by Zinchenko. And it's played forward there by Trossard, but he plays it off N'Golo Kante, and it will be a throw-in to the Arsenal. And the throw-in taken midway inside the Arsenal half of the field. There's Mikel Arteta. He's got to be very impressed with this Arsenal performance in the first half. And well, there's just a delay right now. We've got is Leandro Trossard that's going to take it. The referee trying to hurry him on. Trossard. Well, now he's dropped it for Zinchenko, and Chelsea are not going to be happy with that. It's played forward, but it's comfortably won by Thiago Silva. And here's Madueke. Madueke under pressure, he just drops it back to Fofana. Fofana to Azpilicueta. Kante, he just not able to find Madueke. The ball is out of play. It's a throw-in quickly taken, level with the Chelsea penalty area. And here is Gabriel Jesus, and Jesus gets away, but he's fouled that time. And Azpilicueta will get a yellow card here, surely. Well, I think he's looking to get away with that, in all fairness. Because Gabriel Jesus was away, and it was a very late challenge. But no further action taken by Rob Jones. And it'll be a free kick to Arsenal. Well, about 2 or 3 yards from the touchline. Looks like this is going to be swung in. Jesus is limping a little bit, but looks like it just may be an impact injury for the Brazilian forward. And Trossard is probably going to swing this one back in. We're just waiting to see exactly what Trossard is going to do. He might just pull this one back. But there are options in the penalty area. Arsenal have loaded that penalty area. Trossard is waiting. He may just go for the short one. It's crossed in, and it actually doesn't beat Raheem Sterling. Comes off Raheem Sterling and will be a corner to Arsenal. Not the best free kick taken by Leandro Trossard. But he'll get another chance from the corner. And Martin Odegaard goes over there as well. This is the third Arsenal corner. And it looks like he's just going to drop this short to Odegaard. Jesus, Zinchenko, Xhaka, Gabriel, all in there. He's actually going to go for the one in the penalty area. It's Whitten, and it's going to be headed over the line. Is it in there? No, it's Thiago Silva off the line. Well, very close for Arsenal again there. And now Gabriel Jesus just drops the ball back there to Saka, and it's back with Odegaard. Odegaard lifts it into the penalty area looking for Jesus, and it goes behind for a goal kick. I'd like just to have another look at that again. It was swung in right under the crossbar, and the header is by Jesus, and it's off the line by Thiago Silva. And yes, it's not a goal. It didn't cross the line. It's good work by the defender, actually. Otherwise, it would have been 4-0. We're just going to see. It looks like it's Gabriel. And yes, just off the line there by Kyrier. Just wasn't quick enough to react to bundle it in, but it's cleared off the line by Thiago Silva. Good work by him. And we're going to have a throw-in down level with, sort of almost level with the halfway line. Taken quickly here by Chelsea. It's actually going to be Ben Chilwell. He throws it forward. And it's just headed out on by Ben White, but it's picked up by Kovacic, and he slips the ball forward to Jesus. Headed out there by Ben White again, and it's played forward now to Saka. Saka plays it to Odegaard. Odegaard back to Saka, cuts inside. Here's a chance for Granit Xhaka. Xhaka just tries to be the man. Xhaka with a chance. Fine save by Arrizabalaga. And well, he just got down to his left-hand side. The Spanish international made a great save. Well, once again, they got through that Chelsea defence way too easily. And it's played across here to Xhaka. Xhaka just gets into the penalty area, gets away from Fofana, tries to curl it away from Arrizabalaga. A super save. And Arsenal will have another opportunity from the corner. Well, Mikel Arteta can't believe it. He perhaps felt it should have been 4. But Granit Xhaka, no luck. And the corner is going to be taken once again by Leandro Trossard. He swings in and again, right under the crossbar. It's headed, and here's a chance on the back post! And it's blazed over the crossbar by Gabriel Jesus. Well, he might have done better there. Maybe I'm being harsh. Let's have a look. It's swung in again, a dangerous cross in there. It's headed on. Well, he's got the back post there. He just gets his foot underneath it. Well, it's maybe off balance a bit. He's leaning back. I'm trying to be as fair as possible. But here's Havertz. And he just drops it back now to Thiago Silva. Silva to Ben Chilwell. Back to Silva again. Let's see what options he's got. Silva just drops it there to Fofana. Fofana down this near side to Azpilicueta. Azpilicueta moves back in field and gives it to Fofana. Fofana plays it across to Thiago Silva and it's over to Ben Chilwell. Chilwell plays the ball forward for Raheem Sterling. Back to his England teammate Chilwell. An opportunity for Chelsea here. They're getting into the penalty area, but it's over everybody, including Aaron Ramsdale. But Madueke wasn't quick enough to get to the back post. It might have been out of his reach anyway. But that was a quick breakout move. That was good football by Chelsea. Not been able to say that far too many times in this game. He just swung it in too early. Perhaps he'd have been better holding it up, allowing time for Madueke to get into the box. But it escapes everybody and goes behind. And, well, Gabriel is struggling a little bit at the moment. He may have to come off very soon. We'll just figure out that in a moment. And he's just gone off for a moment. He looks like he's in a lot of pain. He's limping there, but we'll see what changes can be made here by the Arsenal if they do want to make any changes. Of course, they do have defensive options on the bench. They've got Kieran Tierney and Rob Holding. Rob Holding would obviously be the most likely replacement. But Chelsea now continue. And it's played forward. It's picked up by Xhaka. And here's Zinchenko. Zinchenko plays the ball forward to Gabriel Jesus. Jesus, drop back to Zinchenko. You are listening to Alternative Commentary on the Commentary Hub YouTube channel. Today's player of the match on the Hub is sponsored by Commentary Services. Commentary Services would like to thank our broadcasting partners for this season, JB Sports and Storm FM. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter at Commentary Live 1, and you can follow our Facebook page at facebook.com/The Commentary Hub. Arsenal breaking forward now with Odegaard to Saka on the far side. Saka cuts into the penalty area. What can he do with it, Saka? Oh, he just pulls it back here to Xhaka. And he drops it back to Odegaard. Odegaard on a hat-trick. He tries to get the cross in. It bounces to the edge of the area to Xhaka. And it's back to Jorginho. Back to Odegaard. And into Saka. Saka gets a shot away. Good save by Arrizabalaga. And it's now with Trossard. Trossard is trying to get away here and get the cross in. Good challenge there, that time by Azpilicueta. And it's given away by Madueke. And Arsenal now having to get on the edge of the penalty area. And here's Odegaard. Zinchenko. Back to Odegaard. And he just drops it back to Jorginho. Jorginho given to Ben White. And just picking up the ball that under pressure is Saka. He's done well. He's gone away from the Chelsea defence. Saka with a shot! And he blazes it just wide. And another opportunity goes begging for Arsenal. Well, they could have been 5 or 6 up in this game so far. Chelsea now. Can they come forward? Can they create something? Here is Ben Chilwell. Gives it to Kovacic. Kovacic plays the ball forward and Havertz is chasing this one now. Kai Havertz. He's got White alongside him. Let's see what Havertz can do. He gets to the byline, plays across in. It's a disappointing pass. Comfortably won by Kyria. It's then cleared away by Ben White. And it's Fernandes. Gives it back to Chilwell. Kovacic. Fernandes. Down this near side to Azpilicueta. Azpilicueta gives it to N'Golo Kante. Azpilicueta plays it across there to Fofana. And Fofana just drops the ball to Thiago Silva. Silva. Just patient build-up by Chelsea. Just having a rare lengthy time of possession that they just haven't had in this game. So this is something that perhaps they can enjoy a little bit now. But the ball is, having said that, there's a commentator's curse. It's given away by Mateo Kovacic, and we're just looking again at this chance by Saka. He just pulled his shot wide. It's always curling away from Arrizabalaga's left-hand post, but a good effort nevertheless. And he certainly had Arrizabalaga scrambling. Throw-in taken quickly. And there is Saka now on the far side. Saka just cuts inside. He's gives it to Odegaard. Odegaard. Oh, he just tries to pull away there, but Odegaard again. Look at these. Look at this. 11 attempts on and 7 on target for Chelsea. And here's a chance now for Jesus. He's just muscled out of play by Fofana, but he's offside anyway. 7 attempts by Chelsea, only 1 on target. It really has been, and we're going to see an Arsenal substitution now. And it's Gabriel Martinelli coming on and Leandro Trossard coming off. So Martinelli is on, Trossard off, and that substitution is on 58 minutes. But this is an interesting change given how well Trossard has played today. And he's bringing on Gabriel Martinelli now. Well, that's an interesting one. Gabriel Martinelli is now on, and of course Gabriel Martinelli wears the number 11 jersey for Arsenal. If you're watching and just listening to the commentary but watching the pictures, and it's picked up here by Jorginho. Is Jorginho fouled? He is. Kovacic can't believe it, but he's protesting, but it is in fact a free kick for the foul on the Italian international, and Arsenal will get a free kick. And we have played an hour here. It is Arsenal 3, Chelsea 0 at Ashburton Grove. There is Mikel Arteta looking very, very relaxed, and well he might. This has been a dominant performance by Arsenal. And it's back here with Kyria, and it's played forward. Oh, bad ball by Zinchenko. It's won back by Chelsea, and here's Kovacic, edge of the area, finds Havertz. Havertz just dancing away there and gives it over to Chilwell. On the far side, it's ripped in by Sterling, and just won in the air again by Zinchenko, but he only finds Kovacic there. The ball is whipped back in. Chilwell going up for it. On the far side is Raheem Sterling. He's not able to control it, and Arsenal can now break away with Bukayo Saka, as once again another Chelsea move breaks down. Here's Bukayo Saka over the halfway line, and it's just dropped back here to Jorginho. Jorginho plays it down this near side to Jesus, and he gives it to Martinelli. Martinelli, well, they've taken off Trossard, and look who they've got on in his stead. This doesn't ring happy news for Chelsea, let's be honest. Martinelli has been in sparkling form this season. He's Arsenal's leading goal scorer, and he has 15 goals and 5 assists this season. So he is a threat that Chelsea will have to be aware of. And here's Kyria, gives it to Zinchenko inside the Arsenal half of the field, and it's played forward over on the far side to Bukayo Saka. Saka drops it back to Jorginho. Jorginho gives the ball there to Odegaard. Odegaard, just under pressure, is Jesus, but Odegaard takes it to the edge of the penalty area. Jesus again launches it across to the far side to Martinelli. Martinelli just inside the Chelsea penalty area. Can he get a cross in? Martinelli gets it off Cesar Azpilicueta, and Azpilicueta is furious because he felt it came off Martinelli last, but the referee has signalled a corner, and Azpilicueta still furious. We'll take a look at this again and we'll see. It's difficult to say. Even looking at a slow motion replay, it's difficult to say. It could have come off either one of the two. But it's going to be a corner anyway to Arsenal. And over to take it on the far side is Gabriel Martinelli. He's just moving Odegaard away from it. Looks like he's going to in-swing this one. He's a Brazilian. And he swings it in again under the crossbar, pouring away. It is Arrizabalaga, and it comes back to Saka, and he slips at the vital moment. And Chelsea can now break away with N'Golo Kante. It's 4-on-2 if Chelsea hurry. N'Golo Kante. Oh, it's a terrible ball, and it's comfortably intercepted. Oh, it breaks loose. It is the chance for Maqueta, and eventually it just comes off Kiwior and back into the hands. And Madueke. He had a chance for a moment, it just broke away from Arsenal's defence, and what a chance he had just for a second, but his finishing was poor, and now Arsenal can break forward, and it's played forward by Bukayo Saka into Gabriel Jesus, and this game is really being played at a very quick pace. I'll just talk you through that last attempt. It just bounced off a couple of Arsenal players, finally off Gabriel, and broke to Madueke, but the angle was awkward. He tried to pull the ball across, but Chelsea now breaking forward again, and it's Ben Chilwell, but it's intercepted this time by Ben White, and Arsenal now moving forward with Bukayo Saka. It's end to end here. Saka, good challenge there by Enzo Fernandez, and I'm just trying to catch my breath as now Chelsea go on the other end on the break, and it's Havertz, and he gives it to Cesar Azpilicueta. Azpilicueta racing over the halfway line now. Azpilicueta, and he gives the ball to Madueke. Madueke cuts inside, beating two men. Madueke. Well, he drops it to N'Golo Kante, and Kante goes all the way back to the halfway line. Here's Fofana, and it's Mateo Kovacic. Gives it to Fernandez. Fernandez to Kovacic. Kovacic, long ball. It's a superb pass to Madueke, and it's a goal back for Chelsea. What a superb ball by Kovacic to Madueke, and he pushes it past Aaron Ramsdale, and it's a goal back for Chelsea on 64 minutes, and it's Madueke the scorer, and Chelsea are right back in this. We've had a comment in the comment section. Hold tight, please, I'll get to you as soon as I can. 64 minutes, and we'll just look at this. It's a superb ball by Kovacic. What a pass right to the feet of Madueke, and well, the Arsenal defence wasn't really watching him, and Madueke was able to cut inside the penalty area and just knock it past, a bit awkwardly, but knocks it past Aaron Ramsdale. Well, you could see Gabriel was cutting across, but he didn't get there nearly quickly enough, and with 64 minutes gone, it's Arsenal 3, Chelsea 1, and Tom Payton has asked a question to JB himself. Would you ever ship back in Mike Garlick as Burnley manager? Well, Tom, I'm not JB, of course, but and I'm sure he'll answer it in due time, but I know for a fact that he would not want Mike Garlick back at all in any capacity. So I can answer that one for you, but I'm sure JB will answer that in due time. Thank you for your comment, Tom. And it's a goal back for Chelsea, and it's 3-1, and Gabriel is still just recovering. He's had a bit of an injury, and Gabriel is just limping now. He's just going to head off the field. Well, we've got this stoppage in play. I'll complete my marketing duties. You are listening to Alternative Commentary on the Commentary Hub YouTube channel. Today's Player of the Match sponsor on the Hub is sponsored by Commentary Services. Commentary Services would like to thank our broadcasting partners for this season, JB Sports and Storm FM. Don't forget you can follow us on Twitter at Commentary Live 1, and you can like our Facebook page at facebook.com/the Commentary Hub. That's my marketing duty finished for the day. Conor Gallagher is warming up right now to come on for Chelsea. We're just going to see who that is for in a moment, but here comes Gabriel Jesus. Across is Thiago Silva to knock that ball out of play for a throw-in, and we'll just wait and see. Sorry, for a corner. I don't believe we're going to see that substitution right now, but we'll usually defensive teams don't like to make that substitution before a corner is being taken, so it looks like we're going to get the corner first. It's going to be whipped in, and I'm thinking that it is going to be Bukayo Saka on that far side that's going to whip it in. He's got Sterling in front of him. It's swung in, and it's flicked on and right across the penalty area and picked up by Martinelli. Martinelli just drops it back to Zinchenko. Long ball back into the penalty area. Headed on by Gabriel. Kiwior goes up, but he falls down and it's hacked away by Enzo Fernandez. Knocked down by Kai Havertz, but only successfully finds Alexander Zinchenko. And Arsenal move forward again, and he finds Gabriel Jesus in the penalty area. What can Jesus do? He drops it back to Martinelli. Martinelli back to Zinchenko. And back to Gabriel Jesus. Jesus back to Zinchenko, and it's all dropped all the way back there to Gabriel. And it's eventually Arsenal all the way back to Aaron Ramsdale. And it's now with Jorginho. Jorginho plays the ball across to Ben White. Ben White, and it's dropped to Saka and back to Jorginho. And in turn, he gives the ball to Ben White. And it's now back with Kiwior again, and he plays the ball across to Gabriel. 22 minutes left in this game, and oh my goodness, it's going to be a challenge to pick the player of the match out of this one. There's so many people you could choose, but I'll have to make that decision in about 20 minutes. Here is Bukayo Saka. Saka. And it's dropped back to Ben White and across to Jorginho. Jorginho slips it to Gabriel. And he gives it to Odegaard. Odegaard breaking forward once again. He gives the ball to Saka. Saka cuts into the penalty area. He's under pressure there, but dispossessed. And now Chelsea can move forward with Kovacic. He holds the ball up to try to find Havertz. Havertz loses the ball. Great challenge by Kiwior, who's defended very, very well for Arsenal today. And here's Jorginho. Gives it to Odegaard. Odegaard. Oh, he's going to just go all the way back to the halfway line to give it to Zinchenko. Odegaard. And it's across to Jorginho. Jorginho down on the far side to Ben White in an advanced position. White. Still waiting to see that substitution for Chelsea. Here's Martinelli. Switch sides. He's over on the right-hand side now. Martinelli drops the ball back here again to Odegaard, to Jorginho. Zinchenko. Back to Jorginho and to Odegaard. Over on the far side to Ben White. Arsenal, great game management. Keeping possession, goes all the way back from inside the Chelsea half of the field to Aaron Ramsdale. Ramsdale gives the ball to Gabriel. He gets it back off Zinchenko. Gabriel just over the halfway line to Jesus. Gabriel's first touch is a poor one, and he commits a foul there. There's going to be 2 Chelsea substitutions. And it looks like the other one coming on. It looks like it's Mudryk. So Mudryk would be the other one coming on, and they're both stripped and waiting to come on. We're now seeing the substitution. So we're just going to get through this. So Sterling and Fernandez are the ones to be replaced. So Sterling and Fernandez are off, and Gallagher and Mudryk are on. So just so you know, Mudryk wears number 15, and Gallagher wears number 23. So and that was on 71 minutes, and so double substitution for Chelsea. Sterling and Fernandez are off. Conor Gallagher and Mudryk is on for the Blues as they make their second and third substitution of this game. And here come Arsenal again, and it's Odegaard, and he drops the ball back to Xhaka. Xhaka on the far side to Bukayo Saka, and it's into Gabriel Jesus. Tries to get the cross, and it's blocked by Ben Chilwell, and it's going to be a corner. And corner is going to be taken on the far side by Bukayo Saka. Well, the goal back by Madueke for Chelsea. It hasn't really made too much difference in the sense of the urgency from the Chelsea side. They're defending now. It's going to be a corner that's going to be taken by Bukayo Saka. 18 minutes to go. Arsenal 3, Chelsea 1. The cross comes in, and it's headed into the air by Gabriel, and then headed away by Mudryk, and the referee has seen an infraction here, and down has gone Thiago Silva. He stopped the play, of course, because it looks like it's a head injury. He's on his feet now, and we're going to see a double Arsenal substitution. And let's see who is coming on. It looks like Kieran Tierney is one of them, and Tierney is one. The other, let's see. Not sure who that other one is. Okay, so coming off is Zinchenko, and coming on, we're just going to take a look at who this is. Looks like it is Saka and Zinchenko are off. And coming on is Reiss Nelson and Kieran Tierney. So Tierney and Nelson are on, and Saka and Zinchenko are off. Nelson wears number 24, and Tierney wears number 3, just in case you're keeping an eye on it. And here is Mudryk now for Chelsea. Plays the ball down this near side, and it's played by Gallagher. The cross coming in, and it just escapes everybody. Goes all the way onto the far side, and it's picked up now again by Cesar Azpilicueta. And played over on the far side to Thiago Silva. Silva just played it to to Gallagher. And Gallagher is gets his first real touch really as a substitute. And N'Golo Kante just plays it all the way back to Thiago Silva. And it's all the way back into the Chelsea half now for what started a promising build-up. Here's Conor Gallagher. And here's Ben Chilwell. It's played forward looking for Mudryk. Mudryk now gets into the penalty area. Can he turn? Oh, and it's good work by defensively there by Ben White. Just gets in the way of Mudryk from getting the shot away. And it goes into the arms of into the arms of Aaron Ramsdale. And well, Mudryk just looking to try to make an influence in this game right away. The Ukrainian international. And Ramsdale just clears the ball downfield. We have 15 minutes left here. It is Arsenal 3, Chelsea 1. It's won there by Fofana, headed on by Gallagher. Gallagher is putting Jorginho under pressure and illegally, according to the referee. Madueke is down injured at the moment. He looks in a lot of discomfort. But it's going to be a free kick to Arsenal. So both sides having made 3 substitutions. 2 attempts, by the way, so they are allowed 1 more attempt each, according to the rules. And there's Mudryk. And almost got into the game right away, but a good piece of defending by Ben White stopping that. And we just have a brief stoppage in play right now while we attend to Madueke. Really been a very fast-paced second half. The goal, if you're just joining us, we'll just run through the score for you. Martin Odegaard gave Arsenal the lead on 17 minutes and again scored on 31 minutes. Gabriel Jesus gave Arsenal a 3-0 lead on 33, and a goal by Madueke on 64 minutes pulled the goal back for the Blues. So the free kick now taken from inside the centre circle. Here's Tierney, and he drops it down to Gabriel. Gabriel down this near side to Martinelli. Back to Gabriel. And again, Martinelli just moving forward. He plays the ball across to Granit Xhaka. Fofana putting Xhaka under pressure. Xhaka takes it to the corner flag. Tries to play it off Fofana, but Fofana wasn't playing that game. And Raheem Sterling clears it away. And Chelsea now on the break. And it's Madueke. Madueke, the goal scorer for the Blues. He's under pressure though, but does find N'Golo Kante. Kovacic finds Gallagher. Gallagher plays the ball down on the far side to Chilwell. Forward to Mudryk. Mudryk approaching the penalty area. He's got pace and speed to burn. And it's just broken down there. And it was excellently won back there. And the ball goes out of play. And well, that is great work there by Nelson defensively. just sort of, without actually committing a foul, but just got across to ensure that Mudryk couldn't continue that run. And the referee though has deemed that tackle illegal, and it's going to be a free kick to Chelsea. Now it's right over by the touch line, almost level with the Arsenal penalty area. And over this one is Ben Chilwell and also Mudryk. Mudryk looks like he's going to swing this one into the penalty area. And he's just going to swing this one in by the looks of it, Mudryk. And here you go. The ball comes in. It's flicked on. It bounces off Kyria and goes behind for a corner. Well, Thiago Silva attempting to get ahead on that. And it just bounced off Kyria and goes behind for a corner to Chelsea, which Mudryk will take. It's Chelsea's only Chelsea's third corner. It's going to be swung in now by Mudryk. And it's deep into the penalty area, and it's bouncing around there, and finally it's just cleared out the penalty area, and N'Golo Kanté tries to win it back, but it comes off on Kanté last, and it's going to be a throw into Arsenal, which Kieran Tierney will take. And there's going to be another substitution here, and it looks like we have Hakim Ziyech coming on for Chelsea for Madueke. So Madueke is off, and Hakim Ziyech, number 22, will be on. Madueke off, and that substitution is on 79 minutes. So Hakim Ziyech is on, wearing number 22. Madueke, if I pronounce that right again, Madueke is off. And that will be the final substitution really for Chelsea at this point. Last throw of the dice for Frank Lampard, as that is his third attempt at a substitution. And we've got a foul and a yellow card has been issued to Kovacic. So yellow card to Kovacic for the tackle on Jesus there. And that's on 79 minutes as well. So Kovacic is the first player in the book today. The referee has done well, Rob Jones, I think, today. I think he's done an excellent job, and I think he's done well to keep his cards in his pocket for the most part. But that's the first one shown today on 79 minutes, yellow card for Kovacic. And the free kick is taken quickly. And here's Ben White. Ben White plays the ball forward and almost breaking away there with Odegaard, but the ball just goes out of play. And it's going to be a throw-in. And it's going to be taken, well, about 10 yards inside the Chelsea half of the field. It looks like it's Ben Chilwell to take this one. And Chilwell plays the ball forward. And it's now Arsenal have won the ball back. Oh, God, Gabriel nearly lost it. And Tierney now has to chase this one because Hakim Ziyech is closing him down. And it's cleared out of play by Kieran Tierney. He was put in a pretty awkward position there, was Kieran Tierney, but he plays the ball out of play, and it is going to be a throw-in, and Gabriel Jesus is down now. As we have 9 minutes left, Arsenal 3, Chelsea 1. And it's very soon time for me to consider my player of the match. And there's more warming up on the Arsenal bench. They do have another attempt at a substitution. Gabriel is back on his feet, and Conte just plays it off Jorginho, and it goes back through to Aaron Ramsdale. And that move once again breaks down for Chelsea. Gabriel just limping a little bit. It's given to Ben White, and it's back with the goalkeeper. And it's played forward by Gabriel, and he's looking there for Jesus. Jesus tries to knock it on for Martinelli, but Fofana covering well at the back. And it goes back to Kepa Arrizabalaga. Arrizabalaga downfield. And Arsenal win the ball back again. And here's Gabriel Jesus. Let's see what he can do with it. Jesus drops it back to Jorginho. Jorginho to Odegaard. Odegaard to Ben White. White to, on the far side there, to Nelson. and it goes all the way back into the Arsenal half of the field, and it's back with Gabriel now. Gabriel, he gives it to Kieran Tierney. Tierney plays a long ball, chasing this one forward is Martinelli, and it's just knocked forward that time by Hakim Ziyech. He does get the ball back, but he plays it on there. To Cesar Azpilicueta, and he finds Kovacic. Kovacic to Gallagher. Overlapping is Chilwell on the far side. Chelsea breaking forward now. Chilwell gives it to Modric, but Modric's ball there was looking for Chilwell, who's claiming he was fouled, but no go, says Rob Jones. And Arsenal now can move away one more time. And here is Odegaard. Odegaard infield to Granit Xhaka over the halfway line. Odegaard plays to Reece Nelson on the far side. Nelson, he's got Chilwell in front of him. Nelson cuts into the penalty area. He may decide to pull this back. He does. He gives it to Ben White. Ben White gives it to Jorginho. Jorginho back to Ben White. Ben White and Arsenal cut into the penalty area with Odegaard with a shot. Super save by Arrizabalaga, denied Odegaard the hat trick. And it's knocked out of play, or almost out of play by Wesley Fofana. It's kept in play on the far side, but it now goes out of play, and it will be a goal kick coming off Reece Nelson. But Odegaard found himself some space in the penalty area, got the shot away, and well, again, it was sloppy Chelsea defending. He was just able to cut right across the penalty area and get the shot away. Arrizabalaga bailed out his defence once again there. And, well, Gabriel is still down. Like I said, Arsenal do have the one more substitution. If they are going to try to use that, they might want to consider using that. In fact, we will be seeing that now. We're just trying to see who the substitute is. And it's Thomas Partey is probably using both substitutions. So it is Rob Holding and Thomas Partey that will be coming on for the Arsenal. And Rob Holding and Thomas Partey. I'm just trying to see who's coming off. Well, obviously one's going to be Gabriel. You can see that. And we're just going to take a look at who the other one is. So Holding is on. He wears number 16, Rob Holding. So far, the other substitution with Thomas Partey is just going to be held for the time being. Or is it? Are they going to make that change? I'm just going to see who it is. And it's Jorginho coming off. So that would have been a likely change as well, actually. So Jorginho and Gabriel are off. Partey and Holding are on. Thomas Partey, of course, wears the number 5 shirt. And that is the substitutes completed really now for both sides. And Arrizabalaga will now get the game back underway. And that change on 84 minutes. Well, there is actually one more change for Chelsea, so I wonder whether one of them was for an injury. So coming off now is Fofana. And we have got Trevor Chalobah coming on. Chalobah is on. Fofana is off, as that change has taken place on 86 minutes. Trevor Chalobah, and he wears the number 14 shirt for Chelsea. And we get the game back underway, and here is Kovacic. Both sides using their 5 allotted substitutions now. And it's out of play. It's going to be a throw-in for Chelsea. It's going to be taken by Cesar Azpilicueta. And Azpilicueta just taking his time here. He's stealing yards, and Rob Jones has made him go all the way back. Azpilicueta does throw the ball and finds Trevor Chalobah, the substitute, just getting his first touch of the ball. And he gives it to Thiago. Thiago gives it back to Chalobah. Back to Cesar Azpilicueta, and here's Ziyech, one of the other substitutions. Back to Azpilicueta, back to Chalobah. In a few moments here, I'm just going to name my player of the match, and I'm just going to I'm just going to announce that player of the match very shortly. Is Trevor Chalobah. We might as well name it now. The player of the match today goes to Arsenal's number 8, Martin Odegaard. He's not only for his 2 goals, but he's dominated the midfield and has been the difference in this game, controlling the midfield totally. So today's player of the match, sponsored by Commentary Services, goes to Arsenal's number 8, Martin Odegaard. And here's Kai Havertz. Havertz, as we go into the last few minutes of this game. Here's Hakim Ziyech. Ziyech played across here. Here's a chance here. And, it just goes out of play from N'Golo Kante. He tried to play the ball. He might have been better shooting N'Golo Kante. He had a good opportunity to shot. He tried to play in Cesar Azpilicueta, but that was not to be. And instead, it goes out of play. And it's another move broken down for Chelsea. And it's going to be a goal kick. So, Martin Odegaard, player of the match today, and well, he's been absolutely outstanding, hasn't he? I don't think anybody can deny that he's both of his goals were excellent strikes. His general performance in the game has been outstanding. Goal kick now to be taken by Aaron Ramsdale. No hurry by Aaron Ramsdale as he sends it right-footed downfield, and just over Trevor Chalobah's head. And it's launched into the air, but Thomas Partey wins that header. Going up there is Reece Nelson, but it's won back by Kovacic. Kovacic over on the far side to Ben Chilwell. Racing over the halfway line is the England international. Ben Chilwell, but he goes down under the challenge and the referee says no, and Arsenal can now break away with Thomas Partey, but he's under pressure. It's picked up by Ziyech there as Partey loses the ball. Gallagher down the far side to Mudryk. And here's unpleasant challenge there, and that is a foul on Ben Chilwell, and we are not going to see any more yellow cards, but Ben Chilwell is wanting one, telling him it's the 3rd challenge, and the referee just saying to him, I know how many challenges there are, it's my decision, back off. And I really am sick and tired of seeing players trying to get their fellow professionals booked and sent off. Call me old-fashioned, but I think it's just one of the worst things in the game right now. Hakim Ziyech, though, will take this free kick, but Mudryk is over it as well. As we now go into stoppage time, I'm just waiting to see how long the 4th official, Graham Scott, is going to add. Let's see how this free kick goes first. It's Mudryk and Ziyech both standing over it. And it's going to be whipped in, I would say, 5 minutes of stoppage time. It's whipped in by Hakim Ziyech, headed out by Jesus. Well, excellent header out the penalty area. It goes to Mudryk. Mudryk whips the ball back in, again headed out, this time by Tierney. And Chelsea continue to pile on the pressure here a little bit, but it's cleared away there by Jesus. And Chilwell has gone down. I don't know whether the referee has given a free kick or he's just stopped play. But we got 5 minutes of stoppage time. And you can see here Mudryk, looks like somebody's trying to flash something in Mudryk's face as well. Not sure what that was. It was a green flash thing, I think. Arsenal coming forward now, but they've been dispossessed by Mateo Kovacic. Kovacic under pressure, but he still maintains possession. And it's dropped back to Ziyech with a shot, but it just goes away. Well, it wasn't a million miles away, but I think Aaron Ramsdale was aware that it was going wide. And it really is the epitome of the afternoon for Chelsea. For them, they have not been in great form at all this evening. It's been disappointing from start to finish. And Frank Lampard, he must be realising now the Herculean task that he's got in front of him to try to balance this Chelsea team that look anything but balanced at the moment. Well, goal kick taken by Aaron Ramsdale downfield. Going up for that challenge is Jesus. It's cleared forward, and Havertz tries to get on the end of that, but it's cleared all the way back to the goalkeeper by Kyria. Ramsdale, right-footed, downfield, clears it. Going up for that is Thiago. Thiago slips the ball to Ben Chilwell. Chilwell plays the ball forward and headed on again by our player of the match, Odegaard. Headed again by Holding. It's up in the air right now, a little bit of head tennis. The ball comes down and it's Granit Xhaka who has it, and he smartly plays it back to Ramsdale. And Ramsdale, right-footed again, downfield. Thiago Silva just brings it down with his chest. Midway inside the Chelsea half of the field, gives it to Modric, who goes all the way back to Cesar Azpilicueta. Gives it to Chalobah. Chalobah, back to Kovacic. Kovacic over on the far side there, and it's picked up by Modric. Modric, long ball forward there, looking for Kai Havertz. Can he bring it down? Havertz with a shot, and a comfortable save by Aaron Ramsdale. Well, it's that's really about as good as it's got, really, for Chelsea, apart from the goal. Struck the shot, at least it was on target, but it's a comfortable save for Aaron Ramsdale, one you would expect him to make. We've played 3 minutes of the 5 minutes allotted stoppage time. Ramsdale clears it downfield. Reiss Nelson under pressure. And Chilwell loses possession, and Reiss Nelson now has it. Modric comes back to deal with it, and he gives it to Trevor Chalobah. Chalobah gives the ball to N'Golo Kante. And here's Havertz. And it's over on the far side to Modric now, storming forward. Modric over the halfway line. And he's just going to try to cut inside the penalty area. Modric is going to get the cross in. He does. And, it's just headed on there by Havertz. But he wasn't able to get any power on the ball. And it just falls into the arms of Aaron Ramsdale. But that's a fantastic and inspired run by Modric. Gets himself to the edge of the penalty area. And the cross just, it just evades everybody. And it was Havertz storming in. Wasn't able to get much on that. And we are inside the last minute of stoppage time. And you can see that sort of green flashlight. It seems to be all over Modric. I think that's coming from the crowd somewhere. And here's a chance for Odegaard now. Odegaard slips the ball to Granit Xhaka. Xhaka will have the shot. Pushed away by Arrizabalaga, but only as far as Nelson. Nelson gets the cross in. Jesus going up there with the header. And Chelsea now trying to clear the ball with N'Golo Kante. And he slips the ball to Ziyech. Ziyech just trying to break away. Not successful. It goes right back to Xhaka. Xhaka just drops the ball back to Kyria. As time is running out for the Blues now. And Chelsea... and Arsenal, it's game management time for them. And there's Holding. He gives the ball to White. White to Odegaard. And it's a free kick for a foul on Ben White. Yellow card is coming out. Let's see to whom. Not sure who this yellow card is given to. It's flashed at one of the Chelsea... flashed to Conor Gallagher. Conor Gallagher with the yellow card that time. And we are basically it. We are at the end of this game. We've played the 5 minutes allotted time. We are now playing whatever time Mr. Rob Jones is allowing for stoppages. And it's Aaron Ramsdale plays it downfield. And that's it. It's full time. Well, no additional goals by Arsenal in the second half. They've still dominated. A goal in the second half by Madueke to pull a consolation back for Chelsea. That's all it proved to be. Arsenal have been dominant today with a splendid display, not least by the captain Martin Odegaard, who has been absolutely outstanding. It's full time here at Ashburton Grove. It's Arsenal 3, Chelsea 1. Back to you, Ross.
Thank you very much there to Paul James. Excellent commentary throughout as Arsenal return back to the summit of the Premier League table and back on top as everything is getting ready in the Premier League title race now. Climbed above Manchester City in the title race, and Chelsea, their bad run of form under Frank Lampard continues. Just to break off from this game a moment, into some breaking news from the Premier League, and Leeds United are set to officially finalise Sam Allardyce's appointment tomorrow ahead of his first training session. Everything in place. Javi Gracia's exit to be confirmed too. So Leeds United will appoint Sam Allardyce as their new manager tomorrow, with Javi Gracia being the latest man to be sacked from at Ellen Road by Andrea Radrizzani. Earlier today, Leeds United sacked Victor Orta, as I alluded to earlier on, and we'll get the thoughts of Paul James on that and the game that we've seen tonight as well, and we'll hopefully get Mike Ornaman's thoughts on the game and then that news as well later on coming out of Ellen Road today. And now let's just run through the scores from the matches that took place this evening, starting off with the Premier League. Arsenal 3, Chelsea 1. League 1. Shrewsbury Town 2, Bristol Rovers 1. National League Playoff. Barnet 1, Bournemouth 2. Bournemouth go into the semi-finals and they will take on Notts County at the weekend at 3 o'clock on Sunday. In tomorrow's quarter-final playoff is Woking against Bromley. The winners will play against Chesterfield in the semi-finals, which is also taking place on Sunday. In the National League North, Alfreton Town 0, Kidderminster Harriers 1 is a result of their Kidderminster Harriers will play Kings Lynn in the semi-finals, and in the other quarter-final, which is being played tomorrow, is Brackley Town against Gloucester, with the winners facing Chester in the other semi-final in the National League North. In the National League South, in extra time, it's going to Chelmsford 0, St Albans 1. The winners of that game will play Dartford in the semi-finals, while the winners of tomorrow's playoff match between Worthing and Braintree take on Oxford City in the National League South playoff match. If you missed it earlier, in the Premier League, in the Professional Development League, should I say, under 21s, Barnsley 1, QPR 1, Peterborough United 5, Charlton 0, Sheffield United 7, Colchester 1 there, under 21s. In the Premier League under 18s, Manchester United 1, Everton 1, French League 1, it finished Toulouse 0, Lens 1. It finished in the German DFB Polka, Freiburg 1, Leipzig 5. In the Spanish La Liga earlier tonight, Almeria 2, Elche 1, Barcelona 1, Osasuna 0, Real Sociedad 0, Real Madrid 0 is the scores there. Now we'll fetch in and get ready to fetch in our commentator and our pundit in a second regarding the game first of all, but let's just fetch in our commentator first of all on the day's unfolding, shall we say, at Ellen Road. And it started off, Paul, earlier on this afternoon when Leeds United confirmed the departure of Victor Orta. The director of football was sacked by Andrea Redrizzoni. I read the statement out at half time, and then it looks like in the last few minutes Leeds United are set to announce tomorrow Sam Allardyce as the club's new manager. Everything is in place ahead of his first training session, with Javi Gracia set to be confirmed tomorrow as well. Paul, first of all, your thoughts on the situation to get rid of Victor Orta after being in the club for 6 years, and some of his work and signings have not been good in recent times, including managerial appointments over that 6-year period. What's your thoughts on that, Mike? No, Mike, Paul, first of all, so to say.
Yeah, I think, to be honest with you, I think this is a desperate financial need to remain in the Premier League. Teams that get in the Premier League financially need to remain in it. That's the reality of it, and they will do whatever it takes to do that. And when the director of football or recruiter gets things wrong in terms of the recruitment of managers and of players, sometimes this does have to happen. I totally understand that. He's achieved a lot at Leeds United. He's done a lot. It's a shame it has to be that way.
Yes, and also, Paul, the news which I've just broke in the last few minutes regarding Sam Allardyce set to come in as the manager till the end of the season, end of his first training session tomorrow. Everything is going to be finalised tomorrow. Javi Gracia set to leave as well. Gracia being there for just 10 weeks and just 12 games in charge. 3 wins in the first few matches, and now ever since the half-time in the Crystal Palace game, all gone downhill since then, really. What's your thoughts on Gracia's time at Ellen Road, which is coming to an end tomorrow, and the imminent appointment of Sam Allardyce at Ellen Road? A lot of people have been speaking to saying he should have, if Allardyce was going to be the man, should have happened a lot earlier than what it has done.
Well, first of all, 9 weeks is hardly long enough for a manager to get his feet under the table and get a team clicking. For me, this decision smacks of desperation, and it's a signal as to where Leeds are right now. And I hate to say this to you, Ross, as a Leeds fan, because you're my friend, but I have to be honest with you. Leeds are in real trouble right now in terms of the way that the setup is.
And I agree to certain points, Paul, and I think it came a point where, from what I've been hearing, that Radrizzani, Kinnear and Orta wasn't aligned with how the club should move forward after the defeat of the weekend to Bournemouth with just 4 games to go. It sounds like Orta wants to keep with Javi Gracia, but the rest of the board, including the 49ers, who could be taking over in the summer, should Leeds stay up in the Premier League and avoid the relegation to the Championship. I should have said there. Then the 49ers were going to come in and get rid of Gracia then anyway, and probably get rid of Orta and a lot of the others on the board of directors. But I think with the timing of it, I can see why it's being done now with Gracia going and Orta as well, because the fans have lost patience with both. And yes, it starts off well with 3 wins, and then going to post since that half time in the Crystal Palace game. No idea what happened at that point. But before we move on and get Mike's thoughts on it all, I think the main factors behind the departure of Gracia was, in the last few games, the team's confidence has been shot ever since what happened in that Palace game, and it's not been able to overturn that mentality. And I think Radrizzani feels, and Kinnear as well feels, it needs to be a freshness in to keep us up. He's done it before with teams. Yes, in that Premier League game it didn't work out at West Brom, but then they were all less points off than what Leeds are with, and the table was a lot less. Teams in around them had a lot more points than them at that point when it came in. But with this league being as tight as it is so far, down at the bottom of the table, I think that's probably the reason why they've gone for Sam Allardyce, because he has got teams out of that of the relegation zone and relegation fight in previous years. And I can understand why they've got rid of him as well. So, and we'll just go on to tonight's game briefly with you, Paul, and I've just got a stat in here as well. And what do you reckon about this? And we'll fetch Mike in on this one as well, and we'll touch on the game as well as in a second with both of you as well, and we'll get Mike's thoughts on the Leeds situation as well. But Frank Lampard, Paul, is the first manager to lose 10 in a row in the same season while in charge of a Premier League team since Mick McCarthy in December 2005. What's your thoughts on that, Paul?
I just want to add to that stat as well, actually, Russ. Just 2 seconds here. I've got another stat. Out of the last 41 games, Frank Lampard's been in charge. He's lost 31 of them.
Wow, absolutely madness, that as well. And Paul, your thoughts on those 2 stats there regarding Frank Lampard, and thoughts on his Chelsea's performance this evening with you being the commentator?
Well, the Chelsea performance today was as bad as I've seen Chelsea since pre-Roman Abramovich. As far as Frank Lampard goes, again, I repeat, why do you rehire a manager that you fired to replace to bring in Thomas Tuchel, who you then fire to bring in Graham Potter, who you then fire to bring back the manager you fired in the first place? All I can say for Chelsea, and I'm trying to keep things as professional as possible, but I'm finding it very hard when the discussion of Chelsea comes up. And they're a classic example of a desperate club run by men who don't know the game. That's the reality of it.
Yes, absolutely, Paul. And Paul, what do you think to his Chelsea's team's performance tonight, Paul? Was it anywhere good enough to get anything out of the game tonight, or was Arsenal just a step above in the first half and that will kill Chelsea off? Because they put up a bit of a fight in the second half, Chelsea, but it wasn't really enough, was it, in the end?
No, you're right. They did put up a bit more of an effort in the second half, but most of their moves were breaking down. They didn't look like they were playing cohesively as a unit. They moved forward. Yes, they pressed Arsenal a little bit in the second half. I think Arsenal perhaps took their foot off the gas just a little bit, but they were not able to break Arsenal down so easily. And a lot of the moves that Chelsea were creating during the game broke down due to the fact that the players just didn't seem to be on the same wavelength.
Yes, and we'll fetch Mike in on the game now. And Mike, with the performance from Arsenal, they got the job done in the second half. And Paul just said there, he thinks Arsenal took the foot off the gas in the second half. Chelsea, though, Mike, they stepped up a bit in that second half and put Arsenal under a bit more pressure than what they did in the first. Do you think Arsenal, overall, yeah, Arsenal got the win, but do you think Arsenal decided to ease up a bit with some more easier game, shall I say, coming up for the run-in, or would you expect Arsenal to go on and get some more even after Chelsea got that goal back, Mike?
Well, first things first, there's not easy games coming up in the running. We've got Newcastle, we've got Brighton. We obviously go to St James's Park at the weekend. So, I don't agree with that statement at all in the slightest, to be honest with you. But I think we did certainly take our foot off the gas in the second half. I think Zinchenko took his foot off the gas and was a little bit, complacent with his defending on the goal there for Madueke, and I thought he deserved his goal as well. I thought he actually was Chelsea's best player on the night, and by some distance, might I add as well. And then obviously, they had moments, but Arsenal were able to see it through. But in terms of what you were saying there regarding the fixtures, I still think Arsenal got a very tricky running and a very difficult running. And if you look at Newcastle are a good side. They're in form at the moment. They're obviously into the Champions League places as well. So going to St James's Park is going to be very difficult at the weekend. And obviously, we don't have the situation regarding Gabriel as well, because obviously he's gone off injured with what looked like a couple of different injuries. So, it's going to be probably touch and go on with replays at the weekend. So, playing against that Newcastle side with a back two of Holding and Kiwior doesn't fill me with confidence, to be honest.
Yes, and Matt, just touching on Chelsea's second half performance, like I mentioned, they played better in the second half than the first. Why do you think Chelsea, for the last few games, from what I've seen, they always seem to play better in the second half than the first? Why do you think that is? Do you think they try and keep it tight in the first half, get to time a 0-0 and then have a go? But against teams like Arsenal and Man City, you can't really do that. Why do you think Chelsea only play for 45 minutes in the game, which is over 90 minutes?
I have absolutely no idea. That's the $1 million question. That much right there. Maybe Frank Lampard will be able to help you out, because I certainly can't. At a guess, it would probably be because their confidence is so shot. They don't start games very well, and obviously the opposition teams are sort of taking advantage of that. And then maybe they just have to be better in the second half. It's kind of a little bit of like, well, you can't be any worse than, like, pretty much. That's the way that I see it. But yeah, that's the $1 million question. Maybe Frank Lampard could answer that one, but for me, it's just guesswork on that, really.
Yes, and Mate, we'll just touch on Arsenal in that second half. Lay the foot off the gas a little bit, and then really they had some half chances, I would say, in the second half. Arsenal didn't really have many clear-cut ones in the second half. Why do you think Arsenal laid off a little bit and not pushed for more goals in the second half, while you was hoping for at half time when we spoke?
I'm not too sure. I think it's what Arsenal do. Arsenal tend to do that when you go 3-4-0 up. It's Arsenal aren't one of those sort of teams to go on and really kill teams off, which I find frustrating at times when you're playing somebody who's out on their knees like Chelsea are, and we're bringing on the likes of Martinelli, who is top goal scorer and been sensational this season, but he doesn't really get a look in terms of chances wise in that second half. I don't really know. But to be honest, as I said, it's what Arsenal tend to do. We tend to sort of go 2-3-0 up and then take our foot off the gas and start showboating a bit and doing all the fancy skills and fancy footwork. To be honest.
Yeah, and I think, and Mike, just before I get your thoughts on the Leeds situation, Paul during commentary gave his player of the match to Martin Odegaard tonight, the Arsenal captain, and the two goals scorer of a brace, should I say. Who would have been your player of the match for Arsenal? Do you agree with Paul Ayres, Martin Odegaard, or would you ever give it to somebody else, Mike, this evening?
Oh, that's a great call as well. On Martin Odegaard, sorry, I should say. I think Martin Odegaard, for me, would be my man in the match as well. I do think Granit Xhaka had a good game. I do think Jorginho had a good game. I do think Leandro Trossard had a good game. I do think Gabriel Jesus had a good game as well, sorry, I should say. But no, I think Martin Odegaard, for me, in that playmaker role, deserves player of the match or man of the match, whatever you want to refer to it as. And, it was David Rocastle, Rocky Rocastle's birthday today as well. Obviously, he's passed away many, many years ago now. But, Odegaard playing in that playmaker role and putting on a performance like that, for Rocky on his birthday, that's very special as well.
Yes, and we'll get your thoughts in a second, Mike. Just want to come to Paul quickly. Paul, you obviously gave your player of the match to Martin Odegaard. Mike mentioned a few other players in there for Arsenal. Was any of those players in you reckoning for the player of the match? And just overall, once again, in case anyone's just joined us late, why did you give Martin Odegaard your player of the match in the end?
Okay, well, I'll answer that one first, Ross, before I answer the other one. It's for me, it was his overall control of the midfield. He was the one in the midfield pulling the strings. His passing ability. He was dangerous from the edge of the box. Chelsea couldn't handle him. They couldn't stop him. And for me, it wasn't just the 2 goals; it was everything else that he did during the game that, for me, swung it for Martin Odegaard. I think, as Mike mentioned, definitely Xhaka was very close. Xhaka was definitely in my thoughts, as was Jorginho, Gabriel Jesus, and Saka. A lot of and Trossard as well. So there was a few players. Kylian as well was at the back of my mind as well, because I thought he defended quite well today. But I think ultimately I had to give it to Martin Odegaard.
Yes, and Mel, we'll just come to you and we'll finish off on this point as well with getting your thoughts on the situation which has been unfolding in the last 24, 48 hours. First reports came out on Sunday evening that after the game between Bournemouth and Leeds United, which Leeds lost by 4-1, that Victor Orta and Javi Gracia would be leaving Ellen Road and being sacked from their positions as director of football and head coach, respectively. And then Monday nothing happened yesterday on Bank Holiday Monday. And everyone was thinking, well, if Gracia is to go, you're probably not going to do it on his birthday. It was his birthday yesterday, Javi Gracia. Many happy returns from everyone here with a commentary up to Javi. I don't think he's be listening, but if he is, many happy returns from everyone here with a commentary up. And then this morning, the news came out from Ellen Road that Victor Orta had been sacked from his director of football role. And then this evening it's been confirmed that Sam Allardyce will be confirmed as the Leeds United manager tomorrow, replacing Javi Gracia, who sacking will be confirmed tomorrow by Leeds United as well, ahead of Big Sam's first training session with the team, ahead of the final 4 games starting with Manchester City at the weekend. But Mike, what's your overall thoughts on the situation with Gracia set to go out, set to be sacked tomorrow, and already been sacked today, and Big Sam coming in at Ellen Road in the next 24 hours as well?
Yeah, so this is a really interesting one. Obviously, you touched on it before regarding the last couple of results. Obviously, since beating Forest, beaten convincingly by Palace and Liverpool at home, beaten by Fulham, drawing with Leicester, who are in a relegation fight amongst it with yourselves as well, and then that convincing loss to Bournemouth as well, just the weekend. So, personally, I think it's something that needed to be done, just to give Leeds a bit of a fighting chance, because. But then again, saying that, I do kind of agree with Paul in some aspects as well about the desperation side of it. So it's sort of a 50-50 one for me, because if you look at Leeds' next lot of fixtures, Manchester City away, Newcastle at home, West Ham away, and Tottenham away, I'm going to throw this one over to you, Russ. If you look at the points on this one, you'd be expecting probably to lose to Manchester City realistically. Realistically, you'll probably end up losing to Newcastle. And then it's the final two there. What you do in terms of picking up results against those two? Because obviously Tottenham are in a bit of a mess this season. But the big one is West Ham away. And, on the penultimate game of the season, I should say. So maybe that's been done with a little bit of, a sort of look ahead to those last couple of games. Manchester City and Newcastle kind of take that and put them to the side a little bit. But with West Ham obviously being in the relegation fight a little bit themselves, and the situation with Tottenham this season, what would you say on that? Do you think that's, sort of a logical explanation or a logical bit of thinking?
I think so. And when you mentioned about the West Ham game as well, it's Tottenham at home on the final day of the season. Not aware, as you mentioned, we lost 4-3 down at the new Whitehall Lane or Tottenham Hotspur Stadium to give it the correct title. But when you look at the West Ham game, West Ham are going into that on the back of playing in a Europa Conference League match away from home on the Thursday. And that game, it could potentially be so Leeds could potentially get something at the London Stadium. I know West Ham have picked up a bit of form recently, but I'm expecting us to get something against that one. Yeah, the game against Newcastle early on in the season, everyone probably expected us to lose now, but early in the season, everyone expected us to go to St James's Park and lose. We got a point there. I think we'll lose against Manchester City. I think that's inevitable. The defeat's going to come.
I'd love it if you picked up 3 points, by the way, just throwing that one out into the universe.
Yeah, I think that's going to be inevitable, man, that we're going to lose the Etihad, but you never know, stranger things have happened. In the COVID season, Leeds down to 10 men. We can forget that one. Down to 10 men, 1-1, 90th minute, Stuart Dallas wins it, 2-1 to Leeds. But you never know, something similar could happen with this one of the weekend, but I don't see it. But then you go into Newcastle game, potentially, I know Newcastle are playing well at the moment, but potentially crowd behind us, new ideas on board, which will be a week since the Man City game, so I've had a full week on the training pitch to get his ideas across. We'll have Big Sam, maybe get a point at home against Newcastle, which probably won't be a bad thing because probably by that point, Newcastle may have already secured the third spot in the league and probably won't be able to go any higher than that. And then if you look at him moving forward from there, West Ham play a game in Europe on the Thursday, away leg prior to the Leeds game. Don't get back till I think it's early hours of the morning Friday, or even late morning Friday, and they'll have to train. So maybe. And then we play them on the Sunday at 1:30 at the London Stadium. And then final game of the season, home to Tottenham. And we know what Tottenham's like recently. I know they just narrowly lost against Liverpool at the weekend, but lost 6-1 to Newcastle earlier the week before as well. Leeds were unlucky down at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, as I mentioned, losing just 4-3. A goal in that game for Tottenham should have been disallowed, and even the people who like Dermot Gallagher and Peter Walton, who do ref watch on BT and Sky respectively, have both said that the goal in that one should have been disallowed. And so we're unlucky there, so you never know, could get something there. But Sam Allardyce, when he's been at teams before, I know it didn't work out at West Brom, as I've already mentioned, but with Sam Allardyce, he makes his teams hard to beat. And if we can start off, I know it's probably going to be unlikely, but if we can start off by getting a point against Man City, then say a point against, then maybe be Newcastle and a point against, say, and then say 3 against West Ham and 3 against Spurs, or even if he gets a point in every single game, Leeds will stay up.
Yeah, I was just looking at
Providing
the table now as well, just,
providing
go on.
providing teams in and around us don't pick up the points that they need to stay up as well, and we could end up, if we end up getting 4 points, we could end up staying up. Also, I've been looking at some of the teams in and around us as well, and I saw Leicester and Everton yesterday.
Yeah.
Both teams couldn't keep hold of the ball at times, and Leicester should have really killed that game off and made it 3-1. And
Yeah.
it shouldn't have been a 2-2 draw when Madison missed that penalty, 2-1. But and then you look at Southampton. I know they played well against Arsenal and got a draw in that game, but since then they've not really done well in games. In Forest, they're going on a big better run of form. I think Leicester, after that draw yesterday, will go on a bit of a run now, and I think they'll probably stay up. And I think it'll probably be, and I'm not just saying this with being a Leeds fan, Mike and Paul, and to anyone listening here as well. I think Leeds could stay up with some Allardyce. If we had Javi Gracia, I'm not sure if we could have done. I think possibly we might have done, but not 100% sure under Gracia. But with Allardyce coming in, going back to basics, which I think is what Leeds need, and what the team need, maybe could be a good appointment to keep Leeds up. And if he does keep Leeds up, I think he's 2.5 million in bonuses, going up to around about 3 million in bonuses. I think he's going to be on around about £500,000 a week in wages for the final 4 games of the season. So he could end up earning around about 3 million if he does keep Leeds up. And I think I've got more confidence with Sam Allardyce coming in than what I would have if we'd have kept hold of Javi Gracia.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying there. I'm just looking at the table as well, and obviously it's very tight down there at the bottom, sort of between 16th and 19th. Obviously, there's only a point sort of between Leicester, Leeds, Nottingham Forest, and Everton there. So I can certainly understand why Leeds have done it at this time. But then obviously looking at the fixtures, you've still got some very difficult fixtures there as well. But just sort of wanted to ask you as well, just before you wanted to wrap it up and stuff, how sort of how many teams would you say are involved in this? You know, would you go up to somebody like a Chelsea who are only 9 points off the relegation zone? I know they've played 1 game less, but with the form that they're in and looking at some of those fixtures they've got coming up, they obviously go to Bournemouth and then they play Nottingham Forest at home. But you know, they've got Manchester City, they've got Manchester United, they've got Newcastle. Could they get drawn into it? Could somebody like a Chelsea get drawn into the relegation scrap?
I'd probably suggest, Mike, if Leeds or Leicester had got a win in their games over this past weekend on Sunday and Monday, respectively. But with draws, with a defeat for Leeds and then a draw for Leicester, I don't think they will now, because we were talking earlier on TV, and I've heard a few other podcasts saying how they think Bournemouth, they're safe and they're on the same amount of points as Chelsea, and they're saying Palace now are safe. And so normally 39 points or above keeps you in the division, and I think
just
Chelsea on that point
I
there.
said that, the only reason I asked you that is because of, you know, I understand that they're on the same points, but if you look at the form's so different. Bournemouth have won 4 of the last 5, whereas Chelsea have won none of theirs. So you know, as Bournemouth are on the up, but Chelsea could, in my opinion, if they don't, you know, get their act together, they could easily get drawn into this.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, I see where you're coming from, but that's what I think there. And if you look at some of the teams in and around the relegation zone as well, Leicester, they've got Fulham, Liverpool, Newcastle, West Ham to play there, just level on points with Leeds at the moment. Obviously, West Ham, they've got Man City tomorrow, as you know. Then they've got Man United. Then they've got Brentford. They've got Leeds West, and then Leicester on the final day of the season. Leeds, as we've touched upon, we've got Man City, Newcastle, West Ham, and Spurs. Forest, this is where teams in and around us start playing as well. Forest have got Southampton, Chelsea, Arsenal, and Palace to play. So Forest, you say Leeds have got a tough run, Mike. Forest have also got a tough run in there as well. And then Southampton, well, I think we're already gone, by the way, but I'm not going to count them out as survival race. They've got Forest, Fulham, Brighton, Liverpool, and then Everton. They've got Brighton, Man City, Wolves, Bournemouth. And out of those for Everton,
Yeah, I don't know if you mentioned Leicester as well, but they obviously have got Fulham, Liverpool, Newcastle, and West Ham, so that's not an easy running either. Yeah.
yeah, I mentioned Leicester first, Mike. I started off with Leicester, then went to us, and then went down to Southampton, then went back up to Everton. And with Everton, you see, I don't think Everton will pick up anything against Brighton. I don't see them picking up against anything against Man City. And maybe not anything against Wolves under Lopetegui. Wolves have a bit of wobble, but Lopetegui's a good manager, and I think he'll and
The
Wolves end
question
on a
that you've just,
stronger.
you've sort of answered it there as well. I was going to ask regarding the title race in a minute, but you said that you don't believe Everton will pick up anything against Manchester City. So, is that sort of because obviously Manchester City play Champions League as well. So, I think it's Real Madrid, then Everton, and then Real Madrid's second leg or something like that. So that might be where they get a little bit of advantage potentially on some of the other teams. They can pick up a result there against a little bit of a tired Man City, maybe.
Yeah, well, Man City's next few games, Mike, is West Ham tomorrow. Virtually, that only going through with myself, and hopefully we have Nicholas Jones alongside me for that one. Nicholas making his Premier League co-commentary debut. Hopefully, if he can still do that, hopefully he'll have a good one there alongside myself. Then they've got Manchester, then they've got Leeds, then they play Real Madrid, then they play Everton, then they play Real Madrid, and then the last 3 games is Chelsea, Brighton, Brentford. And then if I look at Arsenal now, Mike, after tonight, Arsenal have got Newcastle, Brighton, Forest, Wolves. So I think in the title race, I thought whoever won that game against between yourselves and Man City, which was last week, Mike, last Wednesday, I always felt whoever won that would go on to win the title. And I'm going to stick by
I'd
that.
probably tend
And I'm
to
going to
agree
stick
as
by
well.
that. I
But
think Man City will go on to win it. But I can see what you're saying with them playing Real Madrid. I think in the games against Leeds, potentially, I reckon he'll rest some of the players for the Man City game. Because in the last game, he didn't play Kevin De Bruyne in that game. He didn't play Kevin De Bruyne. He played Haaland for the full 90, took off Alvarez, took off Mahrez. So he played some of his second string just to give him a bit of minutes in that game. Rested De Bruyne altogether. I can see him doing something similar tomorrow, or playing some of the big players tomorrow to get him match sharpness up.
Manchester City will play every single one of their big players tomorrow because now that Arsenal have won today and gone back top of the league for the time being until obviously that game against West Ham, the pressure's back on them now. So they really want to. They're really going to sort of need to. Sorry, I should say, put on a big performance and get the result and get themselves back top of the table again. So I don't see them, putting any sort of slightly weakened team out for any reason or anything like that. They'll go full on just because they want to get back to top of the league again, and obviously, know that they've got yourselves, being Leeds before Arsenal play on Sunday as well, where they could obviously open up a bit of a gap again.
Yes, but Mike, when you say we'll play with the strongest sides, even if you look at the second and third sides that Man City sometimes put out in club competitions, they're still strong sides compared to the main strong sides. So whatever side they put out against West Ham, it's still going to be a strong side and a strong competitive side there. So I think you may see some of the big players playing that game and maybe in the Leeds game and then taken off with the Champions League game coming around the corner, then maybe similar against Everton. So I think, and that's only if I think if Pep wants to go for the Champions League, Premier League, and FA Cup treble.
Oh, Pep Guardiola's a serial winner. He'll want to win all of them.
Yeah, I was about to say that he's a serial winner, so he'll probably will want to win all of them. But like I was saying, even if he plays his second string tomorrow, that's still going to be a strong side compared to his main side. And I think even if he starts like Sir Alan tomorrow, I think he'll take him off potentially at half time like he's done before. And same on Sunday, he'll probably maybe start him and take him off at half time like they've done before as well. So who knows what will happen in the title race? I think it'll be Man City. I think it's Man City's to lose, but Arsenal back on top for probably 24 hours or so. We're gonna.
Yeah, definitely. Just before you wrap up as well, what I will say, just briefly, obviously Manchester City go to Brighton and they go to Brentford as well, and those two teams are having very, very good seasons. So, personally, I can see Manchester City potentially dropping points in one or maybe both of those games as well if they're on their A game. Because obviously Ivan Toney's had a really good season. Brighton are having a phenomenal season themselves as well. So, from an Arsenal point of view, that's something to take a little bit of hope from, I guess. But as you say, and rightly say as well, it's Man City that are in the driving seat after that victory last week, and the sort of squad that they've got and the money behind it and everything like that. And obviously Arsenal are still the youngest in the league and very inexperienced. And to be fair, any Arsenal fan, myself included, we're just very, very happy to be in the position where we're challenging. If we don't quite make it this season, then we've had a really good go. But we just want to take it down to the wire. And as I think it was mentioned on comms tonight, actually, if we do our business and we get the results that we need, then if Manchester City do slip up, then we're the ones there to take that advantage of them doing so.
Yes, and just one final, just before I go, I'll fetch Paul back in for this final question of the evening. And Paul, we've just been touching up on the title race, and me and Mike both agree that that result last week where Man City beat Arsenal 4-1. We'll probably see Manchester City go on to win the title at the end of the season.
You want to go to Paul on this, but just another point I want to make ever so briefly as well. I don't think it was lost at the Etihad. I think it was lost against Liverpool, West Ham, and Southampton when we were, 2-0 up in some of those, in two of those games. Sorry, and we only managed to come away with a point. And Southampton we took lightly. Whereas if we'd won those two games beforehand, I wouldn't have seen anything other than a victory against Southampton as well.
Yes, sir. Paul, the point I'm going to ask you is, do you agree with me, man, that whoever won that game we're going to go on to win the title, or do you still see somewhere where Arsenal will get the title back, or do you think it's Man City's now, like myself and Mike?
Well, I agree with Mike, first of all, that the title wasn't won and lost at the City of Manchester Stadium. It was lost over those three games. 6 points dropped at that stage was a killer for Arsenal. And it's such a shame because it'd been so good all season, but defensively over those three games was horrendous. I do think it's Manchester City's to lose. I'm sorry to say, but I do think it's Manchester City's to lose. I think Arsenal, though, can come away from this season with holding their heads held high. They really have had a fantastic season, it has to be said.
Yes, absolutely, Paul. Absolutely, Mike, as well. Big thank you to Mike for coming on at half-time and full-time to share his thoughts on the game, and then at the end, share his thoughts on the situation at Leeds United. Also, big thanks to Paul for the excellent commentary and his thoughts on the situation at Elland Road as well. That's all we've got time for here on the Commentary Hub this evening. A big thanks to Paul, big thanks to Mike, and a big thanks to you at home for listening, all around the world, wherever you are, whether you're at home, at work, or even out doing your shopping. It's always a pleasure to have you along with us. Join us again tomorrow for more alternative opportunity remote commentary from the Premier League as we take a trip to go and see Manchester City. Can they respond to Arsenal's victory this evening when they take on West Ham tomorrow? From all of the team here, a big thank you for listening and a very good night to you all. Good night.